through 6 innings, just 1 earned run, and now he might give up another one. Dan Mara dished it into the outfield. Dos Santos getting the wave home. Here's the throw to the plate offline, and the Maple Leafs score another one.
I think I had a few of those, but I don't remember ever playing in an All-Star game. So, I mean, I think it's an honor at any point in my career. But yeah, year 14 is a lot of people weren't expecting that.
The 3-2 skied high, deep to left field. It's going all the way back, and it is gone. A 3-run shot from Dennis DeBanning.
Justin Mara drills this one high, deep, right field, and it is gone! Justin Mara comes up clutch with a 3-run home run.
Oh, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Lots to get to on this episode of Leafs Weekly. The All-Star selection's a big part of this episode as well. You just heard from Dan Mara there in the intro. Ayami Sato still on the ballot card. You can vote her in for the All-Star game that's coming up next weekend in Hamilton. That's going to be a whole lot of fun, and some Toronto Maple Leafs still needing your support to get into the All-Star game this season. The Home Run Derby, the All-Star game, all in Hamilton. And can't wait to go to that and see that coming up next weekend. We've also got lots of news to get to, including a bunch of milestones that are on the line for some of these Toronto Maple Leafs veterans here. So we'll get to that all in this show. But let's start with the All-Stars for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is who the Leafs have going to the All-Star game right now. Jordan Castaldo, Dan Mara, and Marcus Connect, all named starters, as well as Dustin Richardson coming out of the bullpen named starters for this upcoming All-Star game. And then John Javier and Luis Florentino also got voted in. John Javier is a third baseman, Luis Florentino as a starting pitcher. So lots of representation, way more than the Toronto Maple Leafs had last year in Welland, so a big improvement on that department. And the other day, I caught up with Dan Mara on his All-Star selection.
It was exciting. It's an honor for sure. I don't know if I was expecting it. I think this is my first one. I think back in the day, I was talking to Jordan. I don't think they used to do All-Star games, or maybe they did, but they would name like the all IBL teams. I think I had a few of those, but I don't remember ever playing in an All-Star game. So, I mean, I think it's an honor at any point in my career. But yeah, year 14 is a lot of people weren't expecting that.
A lot of representation for this Maple Leafs team as well at the All-Star game, a lot more than last year. How cool is it going to be for you going with all your teammates, and how proud of you of just how many Maple Leafs there are on that roster? Yeah,
it's exciting for sure, and you know what, it's well deserved. And there's even guys that aren't going that I thought could have been roster spots. So it's exciting. It's going to be fun to be there with the guys for sure. And yeah, I'm happy for all the guys because I think they deserve it. A lot of guys playing well in this room for sure.
Jaffine with the 1-2, swing and a miss, he got him. Adam Jaffine gets Ashton Patterson to chase.
So let's talk some milestones now. What you just saw there was Adam Jaffine getting his 100th strikeout in his Intercounty Baseball League career, and lots more on the docket for the Toronto Maple Leafs in terms of milestones. Marek Deska, 1 win away from being 13th all-time in the Intercounty Baseball League, and then a couple for Castaldo and Mara. Jordan Castaldo, who has already had a home run milestone this year, is 19 away from 3rd all-time. Maybe that one's a little bit far away right now, but the one that is quite close is Jordan Castaldo, 1 RBI away from 500 in his Intercounty Baseball League career. That's going to be a special one. Justin Mara, who homered last game against the Welland Jackfish, he's just 2 away from 6th all-time in the Intercounty Baseball League in that department, and 282 RBIs in his Intercounty Baseball League career means Justin Mara is within striking distance of 16th in the IBL as well.
Justin Mara drills this one high, deep, right field, and it is gone! Justin Mara comes up clutch with a 3-run home run, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have leveled it at 4.
Okay, so that home run that you just watched there against the Welland Jackfish was a huge shot at the time, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win an IBL championship this season, they need Justin Mara to be doing stuff just like that. He had 3 RBIs last game against the Welland Jackfish, and Justin Mara, although he had a slow start to the season, has been putting it together of late. If you look back at his stat line over the last 12 games, he's been on base 12 games in a row. He's had a couple 2-hit games mixed in there, and it seems like the approach at the plate for Justin Mara recently has produced quite a bit of offense. So the Toronto Maple Leafs happy to see that his spat is starting to come around for them. But if you ask Justin Mara about how he feels about his recent performances, he'll probably say something along the lines of he doesn't care what happens as long as the Toronto Maple Leafs are winning. That's the MO for Justin Mara this season, and winning is something that the Toronto Maple Leafs have to do a little bit more in the second half. They're sitting 2 games under 500 right now, and they've put an emphasis on playing well in the regular season this time around, trying to get a little bit better playoff seed than they did last year. Now, looking on the positive side for the Maple Leafs, things have been getting better in the pitching department. This was a part of the Maple Leafs roster that they thought was really strong coming into this season in 2025, and they were dead last at one point in team ERA. That is starting to work its way upwards, trending upwards and upwards as the season gone on, and it's because of starts like this. Check it out. These are some recent starts from Toronto Maple Leafs pitchers that have really improved that team ERA in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. Adam Jeffine, Drew Howard, and Josh Berenbaum, and Luis Florentino have all had great starts. I mean, you look back to the start that Josh Berenbaum had, that was a game against the Welland Jackfish that the Maple Leafs won, a big one in Welland. He was brilliant. Went 6 innings, did not allow any earned runs, and was dominant out there on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then most recently, Luis Florentino against the Kitchener Panthers was great. Gave his team a really good chance to win. Just 2 runs allowed against the Kitchener Panthers. They end up winning that game 9-5. So this is something that's trending in a positive direction for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So for me, I'm calm out there, but the juices are flowing. And if I just, throw with conviction and stay aggressive and, make some pitches, good things can happen.
We just got to keep doing what we're doing, all right? Trust our stuff, keep doing the same thing over and over again. I know it sounds crazy, but if we trust our stuff and we go out there and compete like we did, like we can, good things will happen.
We got definitely the pitching is looking really good. I'm excited about the pitching and our add-ons. The imports are great. They're a great addition in the clubhouse and on the field. And our core still wants it, and we're here every day, and we love the game. We're all laughing together.
Well, first of all, the Toronto Maple Leafs are really looking forward to getting Marcus Connect's back in the lineup, which I'm hearing a return is soon. Unfortunately, just not before the All-Star game, which I know that Marcus Connect was really broken up about. Secondly, Josh Berenbaum, no, that doesn't sound crazy. And that word that Dustin Richardson used right there, conviction. Throwing with conviction has been a word that I've heard circulating around the Toronto Maple Leafs pitching staff a lot. That's something that I think means a lot to them this season. On the hitting side of things, how about what Dennis DeBanning has been doing lately? In his last 2 games, he's got 4 hits, 5 RBIs, including a home run to pretty much win the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs against Kitchener.
The 3-2 skied high, deep to left field. It's going all the way back, and it is gone. A 3-run shot from Dennis DeBanning. There's that power I was talking about, and the Maple Leafs have taken the lead.
That swing right there against the Kitchener Panthers, I think, was a product of a lot of work that's been being put in behind the scenes by Dennis DeBanning, trying to get back on time for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. He's up the batting average to .246 this season. He's got 3 home runs and 16 RBIs now in the 21 games that he's played for the Maple Leafs this season. But if you look back at the stat line for Dennis DeBanning over previous years, he's got the ability to do a whole lot more than a .246 batting average. I mean, if you look back to the summer of 2022, Dennis DeBanning hit .409 for the Hamilton Cardinals. So this is a guy who has a lot of potential in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And what we've seen lately from Dennis DeBanning, I think that's been a more true representation of what DeBanning brings to this Toronto Maple Leafs team. And he's been on a hot streak, and the Maple Leafs hoping that that hot streak continues because they really need that production from Dennis DeBanning in that outfield spot. Another guy in the lineup that's starting to raise the batting average, look no further than the leadoff spot. Ryan Dos Santos sees his batting average continue to climb, but I'm not here to talk about the batting average or the on-base percentage of Ryan Dos Santos. I do that enough on the broadcast. So how about this? Ryan Dos Santos in a game against the Barrie Baycats went mic'd up on the field.
I'll try to say something.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. No. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Have a day. Have a day. Have a day. Come on. I'm not hitting a home run today. For me to hit a home run, I need that wind blowing like 100 miles an hour out. And then even then, I'll probably still only hit the warning track. It's kind of sad. Attack fastball, hope for the best. Attack fastball, hope for the best. Walk it like a talking. Like that. Like that. Yeah, want to say anything?
Manuel 30.
That's Lee. I'm like, who's the better than the Williams brothers? He's like, no, we're both good ball players. I'm like, you're such a bro. Like, oh my god, who says that? Who's the better? The Hernandez brothers. Come on, he's better? It's like that. That's an honest answer. Tell Lee to be more like you, bro. I agree. All right, now we're in motion. Motion, motion, motion. Hey! Motion, motion, motion. All right. You get a chance there? You get a chance in that ball? That one that just got away? All right. Woo! I'm so ready for this. Oh, full score! Hey, let's go. Boom. Fastball's flat. Okay. This is a little bit sharper, but you'll see it pop out of the hand, right? But like, watch this one. Okay. Here we go.
Well, Ryan Dos Santos, thank you for that awesome piece of content mic'd up on the field during that Barrie Baycats game. That wasn't even the full video, too. If you want to check that out, stay right here on the Toronto Maple Leafs YouTube channel. If you're watching on Instagram, head over to the YouTube channel. The full version of Ryan Dos Santos mic'd up during that game is live for you to check out. That's going to bring us to the end of this episode of Leafs Weekly. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as a reward for sticking around at this point in the video, here's some bonus footage of Rob Butler taking BP the other day.
Dot. Batting first, the center fielder, number 96, Toby Simmons. Batting second, shortstop, number 6, Francisco Fallardo. Batting third, catcher, number 26, Eduardo De Olio. Batting fourth, left fielder, number 44, Tucker Zadunich. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 22, Byron Reichstein. Batting sixth, third baseman, number 30, Josh Niles. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 19, Champ Garner. Batting eighth, first baseman, number 12, Brad Verhoeven. Batting ninth, second baseman, number 41, Dre Amaral. And the starting pitcher for the visiting Majors, number 40, Alex Springer. And now here's the lineup for your Toronto Maple Leafs, managed by Rob Butler. Batting first, the third baseman, number 8, Ryan Dos Santos. Batting second, the left fielder, number 77, John Javier. Batting third, first baseman, number 5, Jordan Castaldo. Batting fourth, center fielder, number 46, Chad Picton. Batting fifth, catcher, number 9, Justin Mara. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 19, Dennis Day Banning. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 20, Aiden McCaskey. Batting eighth, second baseman, number 6, Dan Mara. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 2, Spencer Ross. And the starter for your Maple Leafs, number 38, Adam Jaffine.
You're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. 'Cause you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. 'Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. 'Cause in the sky, 'cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. Stars. I wanna die in your arms. Oh. 'Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. Oh. I don't care.
Oh, welcome to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube. Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. Good matchup we have today. For the schedule for the Toronto Maple Leafs doesn't get any easier, does it? Today, the Toronto Maple Leafs and London Majors, the team that's in second place right now in the Intercounty Baseball League standings. Zach, I guess this Toronto Maple Leafs team kind of trying to avenge a loss last time out against the Welland Jackfish.
Yeah, and you're going up against, again, like you said, a really good London Majors team, and it'll be interesting to see how this Maple Leaf squad tries to bounce back. We always talk about that home record they have this year. It's not been the best, but maybe today a game on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, something they're used to from the previous years, can help them bounce back here at home.
So we're just bridging the gap here to Paul Spoljaric, who's going to get his number retired here at Dominico Field. I talked to Rob Butler before the game. He said it was really special for him, for this guy to have his number retired. A legendary Toronto Maple Leaf, played 6 seasons with Toronto, won a couple championships as well. These were some really good seasons for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but Paul Spoljaric was on the team. So this is what he did in his IBL career with Toronto. I mean, you can see the numbers. The ERA sparkling over 6 seasons, and man, did he ever strike out a lot of batters in the 419 and 2/3 innings that he pitched. Just unbelievable. And then, he's up on the leaderboard in first place in all-time stats a couple times for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You look at wins with 46. There's no one else on the Toronto Maple Leafs that has that many. But, Zach, anytime you got a record of 46-4, you're a pretty dominant pitcher in the IBL.
And I was going to say, we always look at Cy Young seasons for pitchers where they can be having good records where they're, say 20-4. He went 46-4.
Yeah.
That just speaks for itself of how dominant he was and how rare it was to have a loss on a Spoljaric day.
Yeah.
But one of the probably most deserving players when you look at it for the Maple Leafs. They've just done a really good job. And Spoljaric, he just had a sensational career.
Yeah, you almost never lose a game when you got a guy like Paul Spoljaric on the team. And, you know, at the time, the Toronto Maple Leafs actually had 3 major leaguers on the team with Rich and Rob, the Butler brothers, and Paul Spoljaric as well. That was really cool. So we're going to go take it to field level now for the opening ceremony today.
Presentations before the game today. We're going to honor some of our current players. We're going to make a special presentation to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, and we're going to retire our very first jersey number and start our own level of excellence. To welcome the people on the mound with me here, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball Club Director, Andreas Kloppenberg. Wave. Welcome my husband and your manager, Rob Butler. And a couple of special guests today, Rob Patterson, Toronto Maple Leaf alumni. And good friend to Paul Spoljaric, we have Greg O'Halloran, Major League player from the Florida Marlins. Give a wave.
Be proud, man.
I also have volunteers and interns who make this whole stadium look happen every week, so thank you. First, I would like to call Jordan Castaldo out to the mound. Jordan, we know that the count is still climbing, but we wanted to recognize a special milestone for you. You are only the 3rd player in the whole history of the IBL to do this. We want to recognize your 100th home run. It is incredible, and we are very proud of you and for you. To recognize your accomplishment, we're going to hang this banner on the outfield fence, each and every, pull it more. To say thank you for all you've contributed to this team. Okay, we're going to do a couple of pictures. And Andreas wants to shake your hand. Come on, and we're going to do a picture.
Let me tell you something. A long time when Rob was playing, they were using aluminum bats.
Oh, help hang on to that, Rob. Help them hang on to that.
That's not true.
Jordan, congratulations. We're going to grab a picture. Turn it around, guys.
Which way are we doing it?
Guys, yeah, we need the picture. Hang on tight. Hang on tight. Okay, you guys go. Okay, you. Adam, Justin, and Dan Mara, can you please join us? It is very unusual for 2 brothers to play for any IBL team. It is incredible to have 3 brothers on the same team. It is inconceivable that these 3 brothers have played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this marks their 10th season together. We are also honoring this accomplishment and the many memories and great plays, and that the 3 of you have combined and contributed to this team and the history of this team. This banner will hang at all of our future games, celebrating 10 seasons of Mara baseball with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can I please have Jeremy Diamond, the chair of the board of directors for the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, and Scott Smith, also from the board of directors, and Ayami Sato. Come on out. Jeremy, on behalf of Ayami Sato and the Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball Club, Ayami would like to present you with her jersey. She has signed the jersey and printed 2 items in Japanese. One word is energy, and we have come to know Ayami and the positive energy she carries with her at all times. And the other is her motto, stay calm and be passionate. Go ahead. We hope you will display her jersey and sign ball so that everyone can see her positive influence as a woman in Canadian baseball. We hope that all the little girls and young women who view the display will be inspired and know that women can play a mean game of baseball. This beetle.
Sorry?
Thank you. Okay. Our last presentation is very special. We want to remember, acknowledge, and celebrate the talented and exceptional players of the past. They are so important to our history, to who we are, and the many championships that we have attained over the decades. Today, we are starting our own level of excellence. Please look to our outfield fence, to our gate, and welcome our honoree, Paul Spoljaric.
Hello, Toronto fans. Rob Butler, the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I am so honored to get this opportunity to honor one of my baseball brothers that I've played baseball with for over 20 years, starting back when we were kids in 1988 in a little town in South Dakota trying out for Team Canada on the under-18 youth team. That was the first time I saw the magic of Paul Spoljaric, the domination of Paul Spoljaric, actually. And that year we ended up playing in the World Championships, and Paul was the first pitcher from Canada that I got to play center field and witness beat Cuba 1-0 in the World Championships while we played with Team Canada together. From there, we went on to play at the MBI. Paul from a small town in Kelowna, me from Toronto. The wonders of baseball bring people together. And the one thing that you learn when you play at the highest level is that baseball players from all over the world can end up together, which is what is happening, what you see now in the IBL. With London, with a lot of guys from around the world, Toronto Maple Leafs bringing in guys from around the world. Baseball is a beautiful game, and it brings us all together. But the most important thing is Paul has always been a baseball brother to me. I've been able to witness so many things in the minor leagues when we were teammates, roommates when we were teammates, the major leagues. I mean, it's unbelievable how long we've actually played baseball together at the highest level. And then it was my honor and a gift that I gave to the Toronto Maple Leafs when I told Jack Dominico, you got to find this lefty named Paul Spoljaric, who I've been playing with for a very long time, who will dominate the league and win us championships. And that's when Paul joined the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I got to play center field once again for about 5 seasons and watch him work his magic on the mound. Paul was able to accomplish things that nobody's been able to accomplish in this league. Me and my brother Rich, who also played in the major leagues, played the outfield, and half the games when Paul was pitching, we literally stood beside each other having a conversation while Paul was dicing up all these sad young players in our league. But that just shows you how dominant he was and how fierce he was as a competitor. One thing Paul taught us, you play as a gamer, you play hard, you show up every single day, and that's what Paul did, which is why he put up numbers like 46-4, 1 loss record, which is probably not going to ever be duplicated, 508 strikeouts and 519 strikeouts in 408 innings, a 2.57 ERA. Unbelievable numbers for a guy in his 30s. Not even in his prime, just unbelievable. Just an incredible person, a credible teammate. He brought the level of our league to another level. He made us all better, definitely made me better. I had to show up every day playing behind the guy. I had to make sure that I was ready to go every single day, because that's what a pro demands, and that's what a brother is expected from another brother. Just like all these guys who play together, they're brothers, and it's memories that you will never forget. And I am so proud to be a part of honoring Paul. I want to say thank you to his family, his wife Lisa, and his 5 children. Without family, you can never be a professional baseball player or play any sport, really. You got to have the support of your family. And Paul definitely has been blessed with a beautiful family, and I just want to say thank you for being here to honor Paul with us. Now I'd like Adam to come on out to the mound to give Paul his jersey that will be retired forever. Nobody will wear number 36 for the Toronto Maple Leafs ever again.
Lisa and the kids, come on out. Welcome to the Spoljaric clan. Everyone, look to the right outfield fence and the beginning of a long line of incredible baseball players who will always be remembered in our Toronto Maple Leafs family. Congratulations, Paul, forever and always a Maple Leaf. Go ahead, Dan. Congratulations, Paul. Just before we get to our first pitch, some of you have been asking, we have our new player cards. You get a whole pack, the entire team. It's a great day for autographs. They're available at the merch tent for $20. Thank you, everybody.
All right, joined now by Rob Butler. Rob, I know Paul Spoljaric is getting his number retired today. When you heard that was going to be a thing, what went through your head? And just tell me about playing with Paul.
Well, Paul getting his number retired really came down to really me and Sherry saying and putting in the conversations that this is a time for us to start honoring our history of the Leafs and the culture that we want to start moving forward with, and we are the Yankees of the IBL. So we needed a level of excellence, and it was easy for us to say Spoli would be the first one because his numbers are so off the charts incredible. I mean, I may be a tiny bit biased because I played with him most of the time while it was happening, and I saw the domination that was going on. So I mean, me and my brother basically stood beside each other many times in the outfield and just had a chat while innings were going on because nobody could touch him. Like, it was just boom, 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 boom. Really something to watch and behold. And it kind of reminded me back of in 1988 when we played together, all the way back in the 1900s in Australia when he beat Cuba 1-0 and shut down the greatest 18U team at that time in the world. So and I believe to this day he's still the only pitcher that's been able to do that. It's something that was incredible to be a part of and see, and witness the beginnings of when we were kids, just 18 years old, playing together. It actually started in South Dakota in the summer of '88, and you could just see that Paul was something special. How big he was, his stature, the way he was composed, the way his arm worked, how he had no fear. He's such a dominant force when he came onto the field. So I've been lucky and blessed to play with a great player like him, a great player like my brother, and other guys in the IBL who will soon be getting their numbers retired as well. Because it is important. I think the fans need to see that great players played here, and they go home, they talk about that, right? And the little kids that see the numbers on the fence and they're like, I want my number on the fence, Bykowski, Rick Johnson, some of these guys from the 70s that we got to go and find and, get them out here and get them on the fence. So I think all that's so important to, winning going forward, right? We need to, make it a place that's special to play at, and where we will honor you when we see great things.
Maybe just on playing in Toronto, I know that's something we've talked about. You were really proud to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, being a guy that was, kind of from the area. How special was that kind of for you? And I know that maybe Paul would reflect this as well, just, playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, being a guy that was from the area.
Well, for me, because me and Paul we've basically 20 years of baseball together, right? 88 in Team Canada, 89 MBI in Vancouver, Pro Ball in St. Catharines together, the major leagues together, playing against each other, and then the Leafs as well. And, when he was living in Toronto with it and starting his family, I basically said, is your arm working? He's still good, because he'd retired from professional baseball. You never know, right? These guys leave the game and they're hurt. But no, he was feeling great, so we got him on the team, and it was it was just an amazing thing that happened with his impact and how quickly he really made us all feel like we could beat anybody at any time. And that year, we easily, went through the league and won the championship. So for me, it was a dream come true, because, I grew up watching the Leafs. 80s was my time for baseball, Blue Jays, Intercounty Leafs, watching all the stats, following the guys, because all that was in the newspaper back when we were kids, right? I could see what the Leafs were doing, and I could see the league leaders, and I've always been motivated by numbers and wanted to have the most hits, the highest batting average, and I just loved looking at those kind of numbers, and it always kind of inspired me and motivated me to do that. And I won a few batting titles in the minors. I won a batting title here with the Leafs. So all those things come from when you're a kid and what inspires you, right? So all that stuff did, and Paul coming in and really, he was like the icing on the cake for us. Me and Rich and him playing together. I don't know how many times 3 major leaguers have played on the same IBL team. That's probably also something that hasn't been done before. And to be a part of that is something I've never forgotten. Still think about it all the time, right? And I'm still thinking about honoring guys like Paul and my brother for some of the great things that they did. Because if they did play, if you think if they had come right from college or high school and played in the IBL, they'd have every record known to man. Like they would be, if they had 10 years playing here, you don't imagine the damage they would have done, the numbers they would have put up. So you have to honor, even though they were here for a short time, and they're at the end of their baseball lives, and what they were able to accomplish, especially what Paul did at such a high level for such a long time, is just unbelievable.
All right, Rob, thanks so much for this.
Yeah.
Cool ceremony, good stuff there from Rob Butler. Loved the handover of the jersey from Adam Mara to Paul Spoljaric, who wore number 36. Thought that was really, really fun to see today. So let's take a look at the lineup for the London Majors. And this is a team that's been pretty hot of late. This lineup has been clicking. Toby Simmons has been the guy getting it done a lot of the time out of the leadoff spot. He's in center field leading things off. Then Francisco Fajardo, the shortstop, batting second. Batting third, Eduardo De Olio, the catcher. Tyler Zadunik, he's in left field. Then Byron Reichstein, the DH. Josh Niles at third base. And then the bottom 3 in the order, a couple pretty good hitters down there. Champ Gardner, Brad Verhoeven, and Dre Amaral. And the test for the Toronto Maple Leafs today, can Adam Jeffine find that good performance that we saw a couple starts ago and shut down this London Majors lineup?
Yeah, Adam Jeffine, he was working those off speeds beautifully, and that's the thing. We've always talked about it during his starts and his appearances. He is really, really good when it comes to just being able to disguise his curveball and his fastball, because he comes over the top. He is so good at it. We actually had a talk with Jeffine. He said he's feeling good for this start here. He was warming up pregame, and very excited to see how he attacks this London Majors squad.
Yeah. Adam Jeffine, he's been a bit hot and cold for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but mostly he's been really, really good. I mean, if you look back at what Adam Jeffine has done this season, an ERA of 3.50 on the year and 18 innings pitched. And, if you look back to a couple starts ago, this is the one I was talking about before. This is against the Guelph Royals. Went 6 innings, did not allow an earned run. If he can have some of the stuff that he had like that, the Toronto Maple Leafs, I know they didn't win that game. They ended up losing it 2-1 to Guelph. But if he can have stuff like he had in that start, Maple Leafs have a good chance to win today.
Well, when you look at the numbers and what he was able to do in his last couple of games, he went 10 or 11 innings without allowing a run. And 2 of those, again, were starts. The other one was a relief appearance. And he's really taken this starter role and ran with it. He's done a really good job going out there, giving the Maple Leafs just consistent innings, consistent outings. The last time against the Kitchener Panthers, he'll probably be the first one to admit that he didn't have his A stuff, but he battled as hard as he could, only allowing 4. So, I would not be surprised to see him bounce back here today. Again, he's a really good pitcher. He tunnels his stuff beautifully, and very excited to see what he does against the London Majors.
On the other side of things, it's Alex Springer who's getting the start for London, a guy who has not seen a ton of action so far this season.
Yeah, you're not wrong whatsoever. When you talk about it, his only appearance, he was only 2/3 of an inning. And, me and you looked at each other from after the last game saying maybe he's the opener. But no, he's a full starter, full starter. He had a massive 1.68 ERA last season in 2 starts, 5 games appeared, 16 innings. 17 strikeouts, only 3 walks. He's a guy that really commands the zone very, very well, limits damage, and it should be very, very interesting to see, this Maple Leafs lineup that's really hot, cold, can be somewhere in the middle. How are they going to figure out the starter, Alex Springer?
This is the standings in the Intercounty Baseball League right now. The London Majors, I don't think they've quite got themselves in that conversation of being where the Welland Jackfish are right now in the Intercounty Baseball League standings. They win today, though. They're a game closer. The Welland Jackfish are playing a game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers as well. Chatham-Kent lost their last game. So maybe the London Majors come away with a win or get a game on first place today. They would need a Chatham-Kent Barnstormer loss. But the Toronto Maple Leafs, there was a lot of emphasis this season on what was going to happen in the regular season. They wanted to be better in the regular season than they were last year. So there's been an emphasis on that. But, if they're going to feel like they accomplished something this season in the regular season, they're going to need to climb up in the standings a little bit because right now it's sitting 2 games below 500.
Yeah, and really when you look at the Maple Leaf season, they have been exceptional on the road. One of the second best record in the IBL on the road, only behind the Welland Jackfish. But then you look at their home record, they have the second worst home record. And it's kind of wild to think because this team usually performs so well at home, and it's just the reverse split this year. It just hasn't been in the Maple Leafs' favor. Why not have it today where you're able to get back in that win column at home? You're 3-9 on the year, bounce back at that 4-9 home record. You go into your next game with a little bit better of a mindset, only 1 game under 500.
Same defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs today as they had against the Welland Jackfish. Right there, you're looking at Ryan Dos Santos. He's the third baseman. Then Spencer Ross is at shortstop. Dan Mara is at second base, and Jordan Castaldo is playing first. Justin Mara behind the plate doing the catching. And then in the outfield, I guess there's a slight change here. John Javier, he's in left field. He was in right field last game. Chad Picton, who they're still giving a try out in center field, made his Toronto Maple Leafs debut last game against the Welland Jackfish. He's back in center field once again today. And Aiden McCaskey, he's in right field, so that's a position that he's playing for the first time this season. Both Chad Picton and Aiden McCaskey, both college players, both playing their second game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. McCaskey was able to pick up his first hit as a Maple Leaf last game. This is Toby Simmons leading things off for the London Majors. Simmons has had a great first half of the season, hitting .318, has been an ideal leadoff hitter for London. Adam Jeffine trying to have a bounce-back start after his last game against the Kitchener Panthers back on July 5th. Simmons squaring to bunt, but takes the ball.
And that first pitch, that's what we saw out of Jeffine in his last start. It was a lot of stuff that he left arm side high, and really what that means as a pitcher is you're just not finishing down on your pitch. So really want to see Jeffine make that adjustment. He does it just there on that second pitch right there.
So now the count's 1-1 here on Simmons. Both Fajardo and DeOlio, who are coming up after the leadoff hitter, all hitting over 300 on the season for London. Here's the 1-1. Just inside. Load a pop for Toby Simmons this season. He's got 3 home runs in the 107 at-bats he's had this year. The 2-1 outside, 3-1. Toby Simmons hails out of the Bahamas, playing his first year in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. Spent some time in the Miami Marlins system. Takes up and away ball 4, so a little bit of speed aboard now for the London Majors.
And again, in that at-bat, we saw Jeffine make 2 pitches that looked really good. It really could have been a 2-2 count.
Three more stolen bases for Toby Simmons, and he's the leader in the Intercounty Baseball League. Mateo Porcelato, who was here a couple nights ago, he's the leader with 16, Simmons with 13. Now here's a bunt by Fajardo, bobbled by Jeffine, slaps it to first. Oh my goodness! Adam Jeffine with the underhand volleyball serve to get that ball over to first base, and the Maple Leafs record an out.
Hey, you know what they say, partner? Pitchers are athletes too. Jaffine, he's, like you said, slaps that one down, and then he just underhands it beautifully right into the glove of Jordan Castaldo. That's a guy that just, you stay cool, calm, and collective. Doesn't matter the situation. He did just that, and he stayed with the play, and he gets the out.
Yeah, I don't know how much more literal to put it other than he actually just whacked that ball with his hand to get it to Jordan Castaldo. He never held the ball whatsoever, just slapped it over there. So there you go, out number 1. Here's Eduardo De Olio, who's got a runner in scoring position now, and there goes the runner. Pitch, was that fouled off? No, I think it bounced in front of Justin Mara and got to the backstop, so Simmons will get a stolen base. He's on third.
And they're also going to say that the bat of Eduardo De Olio did not go around, so the count goes to 1-0 as well.
Eduardo De Olio has 20 RBIs on the season. He's homered 6 times. Doesn't need a homer here, though, to drive in the runner from third base. Simmons will score on just about any fly ball by Eduardo De Olio. The 1-0. De Olio swings and misses. Tucker Zanunik is on deck. Won the game for the London Majors last time out against the Guelph Royals. This one's fouled off. Hit an RBI double in the 9th to cash in a couple. They'd add one more, and they'd win the game 7-4 against Guelph. Adam Jaffine has strikeout stuff, could really use one here against the power-hitting catcher. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Adam Jaffine does get the punch-out on De Olio.
Back-to-back at-bats right here for Adam Jaffine, where he just settles back down. He gets that ground out right back to him from Fajardo, and then that pitch right there, beautifully executed on, like you said, a hot-hitting catcher in Eduardo De Olio.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago, hours ago, Zadunik won the game for the London Majors against Guelph last night. Night game to afternoon game, never easy for the players playing on their last game of the weekend here on a Sunday. Zadunik hitting .333 on the season for London. The 1-0 from Jaffine, Zadunik hits it right back up the middle. That's a base hit. So the RBI streak continues for Tucker Zadunik, and it's 1-0 London.
Yeah, Zadunik just did a really good job sitting back on that ball and just drives it right back up the middle. It's a beautiful job. Again, if you're lefty-lefty, it's hard to do, but he just executed it perfectly.
So it gives Zadunik 13 RBIs on the season. He's only played about half the games for the London Majors as well, so on a pretty torrid pace in terms of driving in runs. Byron Reichstein at the plate here. This is a lefty v lefty matchup with Adam Jaffine on the mound. Reichstein hitting .290 on the season for London. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Adam Jaffine climbed the ladder with the fastball. London is the home team for Byron Reichstein, born just down the road in St. Thomas, Ontario, from London, Ontario, that is. Checks his swing. Oh, no, he didn't. He goes around, and that'll end the inning. Adam Jaffine gets the punch out, but Zadunik drives one in with the RBI single. It's 1-0 London Majors here in Toronto. This is the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs this Sunday afternoon. Ryan Dos Santos leading things off, followed by John Javier. Then it's Jordan Castaldo and Chad Picton back in the cleanup spot for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Behind him, Justin Mara. He had basically the only big swing for the Toronto Maple Leafs last game, a 3-run home run against the Welland Jackfish. And then Dennis DeBanning, who's been swinging the bat really well for the Toronto Maple Leafs, he's hitting behind him. 7-8-9 goes Aiden McCaskey, who's the right fielder today. Dan Mara at second base, and Spencer Ross, who was kind of a spark plug out of the number 9 spot, wasn't he, Zach, last game? Getting a couple hits and getting on base for the leadoff hitters.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you like to see out of a number 9 hitter is doesn't matter how you get on base, you just want to get on base so you can flip the lineup over to the guys at the top who are really the big dogs that are just driving all the runs.
Ryan Dos Santos has seen both the batting average and on-base percentage climb to 242 and 452 respectively this season. Had a good game against the Welland Jackfish last time out. He was 2 for 4. Also had a double. First pitch from Alex Springer, right down the middle for strike 1.
Well, if you want to look at it, since the game against Guelph on the 28th, Dos Santos, his batting average was sitting at 217. Coming into this one, he's raised it up to 242, so he has been on rampant pace lately.
Alex Springer pitched 2/3 of an inning against the Barrie Baycats back on July 5th. That's it for him this season, but if you look at what he did last season, the summer of 2024 was quite good in the 5 games that he pitched, give him 16 innings. That pitch is up and in on Ryan Dos Santos at an ERA of 1.68. Also made his playoff debut with London last season as well. The 2-1 inside. This will be the 15th game that Springer has played for the London Majors in a career that started back in 2023. The 3-1 pitch, upstairs ball 4, and Ryan Dos Santos will head down to first base.
And I like throughout that at-bat, you can kind of see it up here in the broadcast booth. Dos Santos, you know he's seen the ball well when he turns and looks at his dugout and he's shaking his head saying, nope, that wasn't ball, that was a ball. He's seen the ball extremely well coming out of the hand of Springer.
Ryan Dos Santos had a rare game against the Welland Jackfish where he didn't draw a walk. That was a couple nights ago. Now he's got 33 on the season as he gets a leadoff walk here in this one. Whoa. Ryan Dos Santos is also not picking up the lefty pickoff move by Springer very well. You saw him go back to the bag when Springer delivered that ball to home plate. That also may have been some mind games at first base, not counting that out. The 1-0. Javier lines it right back up the middle, in for a base hit. John Javier keeps it going for the Maple Leafs. A Dos Santos walk, a Javier single, and the Maple Leafs are cooking here in the bottom of the first.
And man, how good has John Javier been? Again, early in the count, he goes up there aggressive, gets a pitch that he likes, and just drives it right back up the middle. A beautiful job done by number 77.
Well, Jordan Castaldo comes to the plate now, and he's been stuck on that pesky 499th RBI for a couple games now. Jordan trying to get that milestone today, 500 in his Inter-County Baseball League career. 3rd all-time in the IBL in that department. He's got a runner on second base here. First pitch to Jordan is high and maybe a bit inside.
Well, he said he's stuck on that milestone, but he did hit a milestone this year, and he was honored pregame with a great banner that's put up now in the outfield, that 100 home runs.
The 1-0. In there for a strike. Got a couple new banners out there for the Maple Leafs. Got Paul Spoljaric, who's up on the fence out in left field. Jordan Castaldo's now out there, and the Mara brothers out in center. Here's the 1-1. In there for a strike. Castaldo shaking his head at the call.
And these last couple games, it might be the coldest streak we've seen Jordan Castaldo have, and really there's nobody else in this place that knows about the streak more than Castaldo. He understands he wants to get back on to swinging the bat the way he knows that he can and just help produce for this team.
Here's the 1-2. Low, 2-2. Like, you know what I would do with Jordan Castaldo while he's on this cold streak? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Leave him right where he is. He's going to get hot.
He's been such a good, consistent hitter for his entirety of his career. And even during this cold streak, he's seeing the ball very, very well. It's just he hasn't been just getting the luck.
Here's the 2-2. And that one just misses. If you remember last game against the Welland Jackfish, Jordan Castaldo's now looking back into the London Major dugout. This is kind of interesting.
I believe it's Skylar Janice that's in the dugout. The last 2 pitches, he's been very vocal, thinking that it hasn't missed.
He's probably not available, Skylar Janice, today. He pitched last night, came in, got the save. But Castaldo was, I don't know what kind of words that were being exchanged between the two, but he was talking to him in the dugout. The 3-2 pitch, outside, ball 4. Jordan Castaldo draws the walk.
And they're still talking.
I'm not sure if that's friendly or not, conversation between the two. Anyway, here comes Chad Picton, one of the newest Toronto Maple Leafs, taking a look at what he did in the NAIA. 286 batting average in 67 games. Playing at the College of Tennessee Wesleyan most recently. Picton with the bases loaded here. And there's a lot of hype around Chad Picton's bat. Wasn't able to pick up a hit last game against the Welland Jackfish, but that being said, he's a good hitter, and Toronto Maple Leafs hoping that his talent will translate to the Intercounty Baseball League. The 1-0, Picton. Fist this one towards the outfield. This ball is dropping, and it's going to fall. A run comes in to score. The base is still loaded for the Maple Leafs. Chad Picton has his first hit as a Maple Leaf and give him his first RBI as well, and we're level at 1.
And I was going to say, Picton would probably be the first one to admit that his season debut for the Maple Leafs didn't go the way he wanted it. But he was aggressive in all 4 of his at-bats. He was swinging the bat nonstop. And right there, he finally gets rewarded his first hit and, like you said, his first RBI.
That's a great feeling for Chad Picton. Get that hit. And the Maple Leafs are thinking right now, we got to turn this into a big inning. They've got the bases loaded, nobody out. They've already driven one in. They've got one of their hotter hitters at the plate right now in Justin Mara, going off of his home run that he had last game against the Jackfish. And then another hot hitter, and Dennis DeBanning behind him.
And this is a little bit of a scary situation for the London Majors because, like you said, how hot Justin Mara has been. No outs, in a great position to drive in some runs.
Mara takes strike 1. That time, Justin Mara nodded his head in agreement that was a strike at the knees.
We already have action happening over there in the London bullpen. Ring, the left-hander, has started getting loose.
The 0-1 pitch, low. So I guess we are wrong again. This may be a bullpen day for the London Majors.
We cannot figure this out.
Springer has definitely had the ability to lengthen out games. This also could be a precaution of what's happening in this inning right now as Springer delivers a strike. The London Majors are not a team that, give up games, especially this early. If they have a chance to kind of nip this Maple Leafs rally in the bud, they're not afraid to go for it. The 1-2. Mara swings and misses. That's a big punch out for Alex Springer, and there's one away.
It looked like Springer just got Mara out on his front foot. He was revved up for the fastball. Springer came back with that off speed, and then he just had him off balance.
So here comes Dennis DeBanning. Now the Maple Leafs, they would love a big hit here from Dennis DeBanning if they could. A sac fly would work too, but just try and drive in one of these runs as DeBanning fouls the first pitch off. Dennis DeBanning hitting .246 on the season. He's driven 16 runs, hit 3 home runs.
Well, in his last 2 games, he's 4 of his last 9. He's hitting the ball really, really well.
5 RBIs over that stretch as well. The 0-1 fouled off, and Springer has DeBanning in an 0-2 hole.
If you look back, all the way back to the June 22nd game against Hamilton, his average sat at 186. He's now battled that back up almost at 250.
The 0-2, just inside. The RBI for Dennis DeBanning last game came on a ringing double. Took the ball the opposite way right into the gap. Here's the 1-2. This one's hitting to the outfield. This ball is dropping. It falls. Another run comes in to score for the Maple Leafs. They go station to station again. Dennis DeBanning has given the Maple Leafs the lead.
And again, DeBanning, his bat has been red hot. Now he's going to be 5 for his last 10. And the RBIs, I mean, 6 RBIs in now 3 games. He's been swinging a red hot bat.
Aiden McCaskey picked up his first hit of the season last game. He's been off playing some college baseball. The Toronto Maple Leafs knew that he was in the mix to come back and play this season, as McCaskey swings and misses at the first pitch. Couple seasons playing NCAA Division I baseball with the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. The 0-1. McCaskey hits this one in the air. This one's sky high and deep to right field, and it's off the wall. A run comes in to score for the Maple Leafs, and can you believe it? It's just one as McCaskey has to scamper back to first base. With 1 out, everyone had to make sure that ball wasn't caught. On the other hand, it almost left the yard, but the Maple Leafs will take it. It's 3-1. It's a long RBI single for McCaskey.
Yeah, and as a runner there, it's really tough because it's a 50-50 ball. You see it go, the outfielder go all the way to the fence. You think maybe he has a play on it. You got to be precautious near the bag. And either way, it goes the way the Leafs want it. They still are able to score 1. They still have the bases loaded, still only 1 out.
Here's Dan Mara. And he takes strike 1. There's 2 ways of looking at that hit for Aiden McCaskey. The Maple Leafs are thinking, man, that was a couple feet away from being a grand slam and blowing this game open. Well, Alex Spring on the other side of things saying, well, if that wall was a little bit further back, that could have been a fly ball out. Dan Mara chops one on the ground. This one's to third. Step on the bag. Throw to first. In-time double play. And the side of the card you're looking at right now is the London Majors saying, I'm glad that ball didn't go out of the yard because we still have a ball game here at Dominico Field. It's a 3-1 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs over London. We'll be right back.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Well, this has been a stat that I've been watching closely in the Intercounty Baseball League this season because at one point the Toronto Maple Leafs were dead last in team ERA. Well, they've been working their way back up, and you look at some of the guys like Adam Jeffine who are putting together great performances. The Maple Leafs knew Adam Jeffine was going to be good because he's been really good in his Intercounty Baseball League career, but he's had some starts that have really been great. And you look at guys, Adam Jaffe's one of them, but there's lots of pitchers in this Toronto Maple Leafs lineup, especially from the starting position, that are starting to lower that team ERA as they climb the standings.
When you look at it, Josh Berenbaum, for example, is a great pick. He has been sensational for the Leafs really all season long. It finally looks like Florentino, he's starting to figure things out a little bit more. He's looking like a strong arm, whether it be, starting a game or coming in to close the game.
Yeah, I talked to Justin Mara about Luis Florentino, and he described his fastball as having the Dustin Richardson effect, where it's heavy and it kind of rises. And those are two things that are pretty tough to hit. But anytime you hear something being Dustin Richardson-like, it's probably a good sign. I also told Dustin Richardson that Justin Mara said that, and he didn't like it at first, but until I said, it's a compliment. He's like, there's no other Dustin Richardson.
There's only one DR.
The 1-1. This is Josh Niles, who swings through that pitch that counts 1 and 2. Niles is hitting .246 on the season for the London Majors.
And what a job it was from Jaffe in the first inning to get out of danger, especially after giving that leadoff run-up.
Niles skies this one to center field. Chad Picton has a play on it, and he makes the catch, and that's out number 1. Champ Garner hails out of Los Angeles, California, an outfielder for this London Majors team. 3 seasons with Benedict College in the NCAA, a couple with Middle Georgia in the NAIA. He lines this one into the outfield. That's down for a base hit, and Champ Garner's aboard with 1 away.
Yeah, Champ Garner, he has always played the Maple Leafs tough, it seems. Every time he's here, he's making some kind of impact play, or he has a red-hot bat at the plate. And we were talking about it between the innings there. That was a very smart play he had in right field. You go back, you fake out the runners, making them think that you're catching a fly ball, and then it bounced off the fence, and you only give up 1. You don't give up multiple.
Another London area local in Brad Verhoeven out of St. Thomas, Ontario. Takes strike 1. Thought the pitch was inside. Umpire called it a strike. No swing. Brad Verhoeven last played against the Kitchener Panthers back on July 11th. Went 1 for 3 with a double. The 0-1. Just outside. Brad Verhoeven had a batting average of .247 last season for the London Majors. Not bad. He's had almost the exact same amount of at-bats as he had all season last year. This season he's hitting .338.
Yeah, he's been a really good bat for the London Majors so far this year.
Here's the 1-1 from Jaffe. This one's hit on the ground, and it's through the infield. The hit and run was on for the London Majors, so Champ Garner is going to scamper over to third base. That was one of those plays where I'm not sure if the hit and run affected whether Dan Mara was going to be able to make that play or not. But it certainly is the reason that Champ Garner was able to get his way at third base, and now he's just 90 feet away, and the London Majors don't even need a hit to score that run.
Yeah, again, that's just smart baseball. Champ Garner reads the play and understands what he needs to do there. And, again, it just seems he's always making an impact against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Dre Amaral at the dish, takes in the dirt, ball 1. Now Amaral takes outside. This is a batter that Adam Jaffe will want to attack. Dre Amaral is hitting .139 on the season. He's the number 9 hitter, and the top of the order is particularly strong for London. The 2-0. Chopped foul right off the foot of Amaral, and that one did not feel good.
Yeah, it looked like it just dropped right down on top of the foot. And there's so many little bones in your foot, all the metatarsals and everything. It hurts. No cushion really there at all.
Yeah, he felt that one right away, went right to the ground. Oh, this isn't good. You see him grabbing his ankle there? I wonder if he got it right off of that ankle bone.
He's been able to put pressure on it, so that's already a good sign ahead of everything else.
He's going to stay in there. Two and one the count now. This seems to increase the likelihood of a double playground ball as well for Adam Jeffine, with Amaral fouling that ball off his foot. Instead, he swings and misses, and the count's 2-2.
That's a really smart approach there, and I wonder if that's what Justin Mara and Adam Jeffine were talking about when they were giving time for Amaral. Just attack him here with a fastball.
The 2-2. This one's hit in the air. This might just get the job done. Chad Picton coming over, and he can't make the play. The ball falls. A run comes in to score for the London Majors. It's 3-2, and that's an RBI double for Dre Amaral. How about that? Foul a ball off your foot, go down in pain, and then rip a double into the outfield.
Yeah, and it looked like that one just kept on tailing away from Picton. He had initially, he picked it up pretty well, and then it just kept going. You see, we actually have wind today here at Dominico Field, and that ball just kept slicing and slicing and slicing, and it dropped down.
Just the second double of the season for Amaral, and it couldn't have come at a bigger spot for London. Trying to bring their way back into this game. Don't let Adam Jeffine get rolling out there on the mound. They've scored 2 runs against him so far. And they're looking for more here. There's 1 out and 2 in scoring position. And this is Toby Simmons, who's had a great year at the dish. Simmons walked in his first at-bat. The one upside, though, for the Toronto Maple Leafs is that they may have caught Toby Simmons at the right time in the season. He's a really good hitter. The first pitch is in there for a strike. He is 0 for 4 in his last 2 games. Just something that did not happen much of at all at the beginning of the year. The 0-1. Simmons fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Before the last 2 games, Toby Simmons only had 3 games all season where he didn't record a hit.
He's a very, very consistent #1 hitter.
The 0-2 just missed. High and a little bit outside.
Made the right pitch, just couldn't execute it on the breakdown. You see how he was swinging off the fastball. You come back with that breaking ball, and it's the right mix to go with.
The 1-2. Simmons fouls it off again. That was an emergency hack at that slow breaking ball, and he chopped it into his own dugout. This will be the 33rd pitch that Adam Jeffine needs to throw in this outing. He's got 1 out here in the top of the 2nd. The 1-2 just misses outside. Probably shouldn't say just misses. That was pretty far outside. Count 2-2 here on Simmons. Misses with the breaking ball again. 3 arm side misses, Zach, for Adam Jeffine.
Yeah, and again, that was the thing we saw in his last start where he just wasn't coming around with the pitches. But the arm side misses in this one, it hasn't been the fastball. It's been really majority of that breaking ball.
Needs to make a pitch here. On the 3-2, he does. Strike 3 called. Fooled me. I was like, no way I missed that. Simmons went all the way down to first base like he had drawn the walk. And touched the base, then went back down to the dugout.
Give it a hard 90 and then head right back to the dugout. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah. Francisco Fajardo at the dish now. First pitch, hits one hopper to Spencer Ross. Good pick. Throws it over to first, and Adam Jeffine loves the effort from his defender at short, Spencer Ross. It's a 3-2 ball game here at Christie Pitts as the London Majors cash in one more.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
So that was a really good play at shortstop by Spencer Ross, and this was earlier today. I just wanted to point this out. I think the Maple Leafs felt that they didn't have a great game defensively on the infield last game, but this, Zach, is what they did pregame. All the Mara brothers were out there helping the Toronto Maple Leafs do some ground balls, get some prep work in, and I thought this was really impressive from some of the veteran guys on the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and the Maple Leafs take their defense very, very seriously. We know that over the years. These guys hold themselves to high standards, and, you know, it's been really not Maple Leafs baseball the last couple of games on the infield, so they took matters into their own hands. They started getting that extra work in on the infield, and that's really big. That shows you that they care. They want to turn this thing around. These players, they aren't just coming here to play baseball. They're coming here because they want to win.
I'm not really sure who orchestrated that. I know Dan Mara and Justin, they're always out there on the field taking ground balls. A lot of the time, their brother Adam is the one hitting the ground balls to them. By the way, Yami Sato, too, was the one catching the balls coming back from Justin Mara as well, and such a big part of this Toronto Maple Leafs team this season. But, yeah, that was good to see. And it shows that, you know, this team cares. Actually, just to piggyback off that, I talked to Justin Mara or Dan Mara before last game. And he said, you know, these are the kind of games that the team really gets up for. And he was really impressed with the way that the team got up for games against teams that were high in the standings. And the London Majors would absolutely be in that department. So, you know, this 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the second inning, this means a lot to everyone on this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Yeah, and, you know, the Leafs, they love to, you know, continue to perform. It's a band of brothers, really, when you look at that dugout and the bullpen. These guys, they play for each other. They play for the fans. They want to prove to the fans that, hey, we care. We want to be here. We want to win games. And it's just been a really weird reverse split so far this year. Spencer Ross fouling off some pitches here against Colby Ring, the new pitcher. And now swings and misses at that high fastball, strike 3. First pitch to Dos Santos, way up and in. 1-0. That misses inside as well. Dos Santos heading the count 2-0.
This is the man that got it all started for the Maple Leafs in the first inning. He drew that leadoff walk, came around later to score.
Here's the 2-0 from Ring upstairs. Four-pitch walk. Ryan Dos Santos will head down to first base. I don't know if you watched the Ryan Dos Santos mic'd up the other day. It was a couple weeks ago. He went mic'd up in a game against the Barrie Bay Cats, and I noticed that sometimes on the speaker they play the Walk It Like I Talk It song when he heads down to first base. He does that so much, and he's always the guy walking down to first base. He sings the song when he goes down to first.
Yeah, believe it or not.
He knows the words pretty well now.
Believe it or not, he's heard it once or twice.
34 walks on the season for Ryan Dos Santos. That leads the Intercounty Baseball League. Now a pitch in the dirt, and Dos Santos gets to second base. Boy, that ball didn't get away very far, but Ryan Dos Santos had a good read.
Again, he's one of the fastest guys on this team, if not the fastest, and he's a really good base runner. He's able to pick up the ball quickly, gets himself in a scoring position.
John Javier singled up the middle in his last at-bat.
Yeah, he wasted no time. He jumped all over an early count fastball and just drove it, like you said, right back up the middle.
At that time, he had Ryan Dos Santos at first base. Now he's got him in scoring position. Takes a first pitch strike. That was a slow breaking ball there from Ring. Colby Ring comes into this outing with an ERA of 6.48. And now this one's chopped towards third base. John Javier thought it was a pitch that he could put a swing on. Ryan Dos Santos was taken off for third.
It might have been the hit and run, not really sure, but Dos Santos, it looked like he had that base stolen. Javier, but in protect mode, though.
I think Ryan Dos Santos was just straight up trying to steal that base. But remember back in the first inning, he ran back towards first when Alex Springer had throwing the ball to home plate. Now it's a new pitcher in Colby Ring, and maybe he's picking up his delivery a little bit better. The 1-2. Javier tops it foul again.
You can see if you watch him on second base, he jumps off the bag and he's trying to time it. So in his head, he's probably counting, the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and on 3, that's when Ring goes. But if you're the pitcher, Ring, what you got to do is, understand that the base runner is seeing your movements. You got to slow it down, or you got to speed it up. One of the two.
He slowed it down. And now he's got Ryan Dos Santos picked off. Dos Santos in a rundown, now sprinting for third, and the tag applied. Boy, good call on that one, Zach. Ryan Dos Santos absolutely was trying to time up the pitcher, Ring, and he's picked off the base path, and now there's 2 away.
Yeah, and that's, you're trying to pick him up. You notice that, the last 3 pitches, the last 4 pitches, he's gone every 3 seconds. He holds, 1, 2, 3, and he goes. And if you're the pitcher, Ring, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to kind of change up your timing. Don't let the base runners know that you're falling into a tempo, because once you do, they're just going to take off.
The 1-2 pitch upstairs, 2-2 now on John Javier. Now he hits one on the ground. This one's to second base, bobbled once, thrown to first in time, and that will end the inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was a pretty composed play there by Dre Amaral. Remember, he fouled the ball off his foot. He's already driven in a run for the London Majors. Now he makes a good play to get his pitcher, Ring, out of the inning. Well, back here at Dominico Field, a couple defensive substitutions for the Toronto Maple Leafs. As here's the first pitch from Adam Jeffine. And he throws strike one. Chad Picton has moved from center field. He's now at third base. And then the outfield has Ryan Dos Santos in left, who was at third before. John Javier, who was in left field, is now in center, and Aiden McCaskey stays in right.
And again, it's the versatility of these players that are able to move. Nobody got subbed out. It's just one big triangle, the 3 players switching.
So the third baseman, Chad Picton, knocks it down, picks it up, throws to first. Good play. That defensive substitution is working out so far. There's one away.
And we discussed it last game with Picton, where he is normally an infielder. He's primarily an infielder. The coaching staff, they wanted to give him a run in the outfield to see, could he possibly be another guy where they can be very versatile with him and put him in the outfield, put him in the infield. But he looks more comfortable on the infield. And you see there, the first play, you're obviously happy to make it because you want to get settled into the game. But that's a good first play there for Mr. Picton.
I'm not sure if the experiment is over or not, trying to convert Picton to an outfielder, but for today, it is. So he's going to go back to a more natural position, playing third base, which is also a valuable position for the Toronto Maple Leafs, see if he can lock it down there. This one's hit on the ground. This one's to second, bobbled by Mara, picks it up, throws to first, in time, he got him.
Good play by Mara right there. You stay cool, calm, collective. Yes, you bobble the ball, but you stay with it, you field it beautifully, and then you just get a nice bullet over to Castaldo.
Yeah, the gloves certainly haven't been perfect, but they've been good enough to keep the ball in front of them. That's been a big thing, and twice now we've seen that ball get thrown over to first base and recorded for an out, even with a little bit of a bobble. Take you back to the infield practice. Toronto Maple Leafs were out at 12 o'clock today, taking infield well before batting practice, and everyone was there. First it was just Dan Mara for a little bit, and then everyone on the infield ended up joining, including Picton, by the way, as well. He was getting some work in on the infield. Now Reichstein takes a strike at the knees. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good inning from Adam Jeffine in the top of the third as he gets the punch out to end it. It's the Maple Leafs who lead by 1 here against London. Well, that's the banner that was raised today for Jordan Castaldo, his 100 home runs, which he's since surpassed. So mark that milestone off the list. Lots of other milestones as well, though, for the Toronto Maple Leafs upcoming this season. Justin Mara now just two home runs away from from 6th in the Intercounty Baseball. He's got 84 home runs on the season. Unbelievable. The big one, Jordan Castaldo, who's at the dish right now, 1 RBI away from 500 and chasing down the home run leaderboard as well, but we might need to wait till next season to put that one on the docket. Castaldo takes inside ball 1.
Yeah, what a cool ceremony, really, when you look at it. Pre-game honoring, obviously, Spoljaric, but also just a bunch of Maple Leaf players that have made an impact, donning that Leafs logo across the chest.
So that was a breaking ball there, I think, from Colby Ring. But remember the words that Jordan Castaldo was having with the London Majors dugout. We absolutely could be reading into this completely the wrong way, but it was interesting. Skylar Janice and Jordan Castaldo were chatting during his at-bat. So Jordan Castaldo is going to draw another walk. This time it's a 4-pitch walk as he heads down to first base.
And again, you know, the hits might not be happening right now for Castaldo or really for the Maple Leafs as a whole, but they're getting on base still. They're seeing the ball really well at the plate. They're working counts, and that was something that made them so good to start the year. It's just really 1 through 9. They weren't making it easy on pitchers. They were working counts. They were putting the pressure on the pitcher to execute, and they did a good job of that.
Chad Picton drove in his first run as a Toronto Maple Leaf and picked up his first hit, all in the same swing in his last at-bat. At the time, it made it 1-0 Maple Leafs. They added on a couple more, and here we are, 3-2 lead for Toronto, and Chad Picton back at the dish. Picton now drives this ball in the air. This is to right field. Pretty well struck, but into the glove of Champ Garner, who had to go back a couple steps, and that's the first out.
It was a good swing by Picton right there. You know, you take it to the opposite field, and take it to the opposite field with some power. Gardner had to take a couple steps back, but just does a really good job just getting that bat through the zone quickly.
Justin Mara at the dish for the Maple Leafs. Jordan Castaldo, the runner at first base, with 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd as the first pitch is in the dirt. Colby Ring in his 2nd inning of work here for the London Majors. Zadunik, Simmons, and Garner all played straight away here in the outfield for Justin Mara. Now he pulls this ball on the ground to second. Amaral flips to the bag, throw to first by Fajardo in time, double play, and Colby Ring gets out of it. And when it's all said and done, that was a pretty tidy 1-2, well, not quite 1-2-3 inning, but a pretty tidy inning for both pitchers in the 3rd, both for Toronto and the London Majors. We'll be right back in a couple of moments. Well, welcome back to Dominico Field. A 3-2 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs here against the London Majors. We're just looking at the out-of-town score. I guess it's a rain delay out in Chatham-Kent. The boys are just hanging out in the booth.
Having a good time.
I kind of want to go over and watch that stream. I love those broadcasters out in Chatham-Kent. Do a great job out there. Want to know here on Josh Niles. And he lines one on a one-hop to shortstop. Spencer Ross makes another composed play out there at short. That's out number 1. The other game happening right now is the Hamilton Cardinals and Brantford Red Sox. That game 4-0 Hamilton over Brantford. Later on today, Kitchener Panthers and Barrie Baycats. First pitch set for 5 o'clock in that one. One out here, Champ Garner at the dish, fouls the first pitch off. He was way out in front of that pitch and cued it to the backstop. Adam Jeffine really settled down after giving up a run in each of the first 2 innings, had a 1-2-3 third. Pitch a strike to Garner, and the count's 0-2. There's a swing and a miss pitch in the dirt. Justin Marr's going to have to go get it. He slides, and he has no play. That ball just kind of stuck right on the backstop, so Garner's going to reach first base on a strikeout.
And again, Champ Garner just somehow, some way, finding a way on base against the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Garner's 1 for 2 now. Reached base in his last at-bat. Now he's on first once again. And the pitch inside and a hit for Verhoeven. Brad Verhoeven gets clipped in the elbow guard, so now there's 2 on here for the Majors in the 4th, and this has become now a little bit of a dicey situation for the Maple Leafs and Adam Jeffine. Dre Emerald was the one who smoked a ball out to right center field and absolutely deserved a double on the hit just with the good contact, but I think the Maple Leafs thought that Chad Picton could have caught the ball out in center field, and that might have been what sparked the decision to shuffle things around and put Chad Picton back to his natural position in the infield.
Yeah, and it's not a shot or anything at Picton, but it's just they were trying him out in center field. He's probably still going to get more looks throughout the rest of the season in center field or in the outfield somewhere, but his more natural, comfortable spot is on the infield.
This bunt attempt is popped up, and Mara dives, and he got it. Oh, Justin Mara, what a play.
It all starts with your catcher and your leader, Justin Mara, laying it all out on the line. You'll love to see it out of the big number 9.
Just a play that you don't see very often. You don't see a bunt, popped up into foul territory like that, but Justin Mara just went all out. I don't even see Justin Mara do a head-first slide very often. I certainly don't see the catcher diving headlong up the first baseline very often, and Justin Mara is the one to do it. How about that?
That's awesome.
Back to the top of the order with Toby Simmons. Simmons has walked and struck out so far in his 2 plate appearances today. The 0-1 pitch. Simmons, a check swing. Not sure if he went around yet. Justin Mara goes to get the ball. It's a wild pitch on Jeffine. There's still been no appeal anywhere. Now they'll check no swing. But can you check with the... Oh, yeah, you can. Okay. I saw Toby Simmons standing on the other side of the batter's box. I was like, how could you check down to first base when there's a lefty? but obviously Toby Simmons is a right-handed hitter. So that pitch was a ball. Counts now 1-1. And a wild pitch on the play, so 2 in scoring position for London. The 1-1 just misses. 2 balls now on Simmons. Adam Jeffine needing to get Simmons here with Fajardo, the hitter, batting .304 and has been hot of late on deck. This one's in the dirt, blocked by Mara. That's the block that Adam Jeffine needed. If there was going to be one, it's that one right there.
That's a big block.
Justin Mara gets down and saves a run. The 3-1 pitch. Finds the outside corner, and it's 3-2. This time, Simmons didn't walk all the way to first base. Went pretty far, though.
Went about a third of the way.
Full count now on the leadoff hitter for London. And it's lined into the outfield. That's down for a base hit. 1 run comes in to score. The throw to the plate is spiked by McCaskey, but it's cut off by Jordan Castaldo. And we've got a tie ball game here at Christie Pitts.
Toby Simmons, we talked about him earlier in the game, swinging a red-hot bat. Well, he continues it here for the London Majors. He just slices that ball beautifully to the opposite field, picking up himself an RBI.
Yeah, red hot bat on the season, but of late, that's a big hit for Toby Simmons as he breaks a bit of an 0-4. Now Fajardo. And he lines it into the outfield. That one splits the outfielders, rolls to the wall. A run comes in to score. Toby Simmons is steaming around third base. He's getting the wave home, and he scores without a throw. And the London Majors have taken the lead on an RBI double by Francisco Fajardo.
Yeah, 2 runners come around there for Fajardo. And again, it's just a really good swing on a ball where you just line it, like you said, splitting the gap beautifully. And credit to Toby Simmons there, hustling all the way from first.
Yeah, he's got great speed. The outfield is not very deep here at Dominico Field in comparison to other parks in the Intercounty Baseball League, but that one did find its way all the way to the deepest part of the ballpark, right out there by the Jordan Castaldo banner out in right center. Now Eduardo D'Olio, and the Majors trying to keep it going here against the Maple Leafs. D'Olio fouls one off his foot, and he's in some pain as he hobbles towards the first base line.
Again, it's never a comfortable thing when you foul a ball off your foot. Not one bit. There's some things you can wish upon your worst enemies. That's not one of them.
Tucker Zadunik is standing on deck, hopeful of an at-bat this inning. Here's the 0-1 from Jeffine. Runner going, and this one's chopped towards third. Picton picks it, throws to first. What a play, and that'll end the inning. The London Majors, they cash in 3 runs, and they've now taken the lead. It's 5-3. Well, no need to look at the game sheet to tell who's hitting right now. That's Dennis DeBanning. As his song says, back in the city in Toronto. That might be my favorite walkout song. What about you?
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I think Connor Lewis still holds high for my favorites.
Yeah, it's good. 0-1 here on DeBanning. Colby Ring still in the game, entering into his third inning of work. DeBanning lines this one to the outfield, down for a base hit. Stay hot, Dennis DeBanning, as he leads off the fourth with a single.
And he's really going to start, factoring in to give himself some more playing time. He has been really, really good over this last little bit. And I think the biggest takeaway is he looks loose at the plate. He doesn't look like he's all tight, all worrying about what to do. Looks like he's going up there having fun and just executing a really good plan.
I think the most valuable thing that Dennis DeBanning is doing right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs is he's providing some offense in what's a really big hole for the Maple Leafs with Marcus Connect being out of the lineup. He's really picking up the slack where Marcus Connect was really good this season. Talked to Marcus before the game, maybe about a month away from returning, so they've still got some at-bats to fill in his absence. Oh, 0-1 on Aiden McCaskey, and boy, did he ever give a ball a ride in his last at-bat. It's just a pickoff throw to first. DeBanning dives back in. McCaskey was, maybe a couple feet away from hitting a grand slam in his last at-bat. It was a high fly ball that was coming straight down. It clipped the top of the wall, and it ended up being a long single that scored one with the bases loaded.
You can see here Ring is just staying as far away from him as he can. Multiple pitches on the outside half, not allowing McCaskey to get his arms extended over the plate.
Yeah. Because if that ball had gone over the wall, this would be a very different ball game right now. Would have been a grand slam. Instead, it scored one. The 0-2. McCaskey hits one sharply on the ground to Amaral at second. He flips to the shortstop covering second. Throw over to first by Fajardo. Another strong throw from the shortstop, Fajardo, and that's a double play.
And that's been the killer for the Leafs so far today. The third time they've hit into a double play. And it's been really after they get some offense rolling. In the first inning, it was Dan Mara that hit that double play to third base, and then it was Justin Mara hitting it to second, and right now McCaskey.
There's been some sharply hit balls this game to infielders on both sides of things, and the play's been made every single time. Infield defense has been good today on both sides. That's kind of what opened up the game last game. You think about the Maple Leafs and Welland Jackfish, that ended up being a 15-5 win for Welland. Dan Mara floats this ball into the outfield. Back a few steps is Champ Gardner. Boy, that one was carrying into the outfield, but Gardner stays with it, makes the catch, and it ends up being another good inning for Colby Ring and the London Majors, who just scored 3 on the top half of the fourth, and Colby Ring gets a shutdown inning in the bottom of the half. We head to the fifth we go here at Dominico Field. Adam Jeffine back on the mound for a 5th inning of work here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. First pitch to Tucker Zadunik is low, ball 1.
It's a very hot day out here. Very, very warm day, very sunny day.
Yeah, it's been a weird day. It was pouring rain this morning at about 10 a.m. There was just buckets of rain coming down in Toronto. I know you're
Thunder scared me, woke me up.
I know on the broadcast you're just looking at a picture of Chatham, Kent. It's very rainy there, so obviously that rain cloud has found its way about 4 hours away from here to Chatham, Kent. Unfortunately for the Maple Leafs, the rain came early, and now it's it's completely dried out. You don't even see any puddles or anything. But when I got here this morning, it was about 10:30. It was just lightly raining, and there were actually some pools starting to form on the infield. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This one's chopped on the ground. This one's to third base. It takes a horrible hop on Chad Picton. And by the time that ball was picked up by the shortstop, Spencer Ross, there was no play.
And that's probably just the inexperience of playing here at Dominico Field. It's just those Christie hops is what we always love to call them. It's where it's sometimes hard to judge how the ball is going to react.
Just to give you some context, this was earlier today. These are all 3 Mara brothers getting the mound prepped. They were out here. They were here way before the game today, getting everything ready. There's Dan over there on the left. Adam working on the mound. I think he's the expert because he's the pitcher of the 3 of them.
The hardest working brothers in all of IBL.
Absolutely. And then when they were done that, they went out and fielded ground balls. Justin was the one hitting them.
And how did they get rewarded for all of that? You have a banner now in center field.
Beautiful. Maple Leafs legend, that trio. The 1-0, this one's chopped by Byron Reichstein, fouled off towards his own dugout. Byron Reichstein's hitting .289 on the season with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs for London. Today, Byron Reichstein's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Here's the 1-1. Reichstein fists one towards the outfield. That one falls for a base hit, and that one gets by the center fielder. That's John Javier out there in center, so both runners will move up an extra 90 feet. It'll be a single and an error with Byron Reichstein at second. And Tucker Zadunik at third. Rob Butler out to the mound.
And it looks like Javier was trying to play that on a hop, and it just stayed down low on the ground. There was no high hop afterwards.
If you talk to the Maple Leafs infield or just the Maple Leafs defense in general, they'll probably say that they wish one of the 2 plays this inning was made. Unfortunately, it was a horrible hop on Chad Picton. It bounced off the grass. That allowed the first runner to go, and then the extra 90 feet on the error in center field, and a pitching change coming up here in Toronto. Franklin Hernandez now on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of their good and newest import arms that they've acquired. Hernandez pitched in one game so far this season. It was 3 1/3 against the Kitchener Panthers. This one's smashed on the ground towards third base. The batter is Josh Niles.
Heads up to all the coaches down there.
Yeah, I went right through everybody down the third base line. So Franklin Hernandez looked really good last time out. 7 strikeouts over 3 1/3 innings. Didn't allow an earned run. This one's on the ground to third, and it hops by Picton. A run comes in to score. They're going to send the second as well. Here's the throw from the outfield, just late. 2 more come in to score for the London Majors, and it's 7-3.
Another wicket hop over at third, and Picton just couldn't read it off of the grass.
Yeah, that's another tough one. I mean, Chad Picton had a ball earlier where he had a hop kind of like that, but he picked it and made a really good play. That time, I mean, just a little bit unpredictable when it gets to the edge of the infield, and that's just a tough play to make if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs infielder. Not much you can do. Champ Garner at the dish now. Garner's 1 for 2 today. And he swings and misses at that pitch from Franklin Hernandez. If that took a more favorable hop at third base, Picton would have had that and definitely been able to hold the runners where they were. Would have changed the complexion of this game a lot. The 1-1. Garner bunting with 1 strike. And he fouls it off.
Interesting to see Garner trying to get a bunt down here. Trying to put pressure more onto the Maple Leafs.
Now he swings and misses, he strikes out. That's a punch out for Franklin Hernandez.
Technically speaking, this is the second strikeout of the game right there for Gardner, but last time he reached via the drop third strike.
Yeah, that drop third strike when Garner reached, that was part of a 3-run fourth inning, and another play that really sparked the majors for a couple runs in an inning.
Well, if obviously that ball doesn't squeak away from Justin Mara, that's the second out of the inning, and then Drew Amaral, he had that pop out to Mara at end of the inning. But obviously, just small things can't go the Maple Leafs' way right there.
And if Justin Mara was kicking himself that he should have blocked the ball on Champ Garner, he made up for it next play because it was a diving catch on the infield. He made a play that not many catchers in the Northern County Baseball League would have made. Brad Verhoeven 1 for 1 on the day. Takes inside. Hernandez falls behind 2-1. Still just 1 out in the inning. 8-9 up here for the Majors. Verhoeven takes a strike at the knees, and it's 2-2. Believe it or not, everyone in the London Major lineup today has a hit. The only guy who doesn't have a hit is Eduardo De Olio, and you'd think that he'll probably get one if everyone else is.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Didn't even take that in.
What do you mean, actually?
What?
What do you mean, actually?
Oh, I just didn't realize it.
Oh, okay.
Took me a minute. I have to look at my paper.
2-2. Fouled off the facing of the Major dugout. Dre Amaral on deck, expecting he'll get an at-bat this inning. And then it's back to the top of the order. So if these 8-9 hitters can get something going against Hernandez, London Majors could start to really open this thing up. That pitch up and away. Count runs full. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Another big punch out from Franklin Hernandez as he tries to navigate his way through the top of the 5th.
Back-to-back comes in, and he has been so good for the Maple Leafs. You talk about what he did his last time out, 7 strikeouts, and he worked 3 innings of work.
So Dre Amaral up here with 2 outs, still a runner in scoring position for the Majors. First pitch strike from Hernandez. 2 runs came in to score in the inning, both of those charged to Adam Jaffine. The 0-1. That finds the zone as well, a good breaking ball from Hernandez. Oh, 2 on Dre Amaral, and it's just inside.
He got him looking at the pitch before, which was the breaking ball, and then he goes right back to it there. He just couldn't get it over the inside half.
The 1-2. Chopped on the ground. That one skips up the middle. Fielded in center field, and there's no play at home plate. Another run comes in to score for London, and it's 8-3. RBI single for Dre Amaral as he's cashed in another for the Majors.
And what a day it's been for Amaral out of the 9-hole. He fouls off a pitch off of the top of his foot in his first at-bat, proceeds to ring a double into right center field, and then right there comes through again, RBI single. Great job done by number 41.
Top of the order now for the Majors, and it's Toby Simmons singled in his last at-bat. Big swing at the first pitch, and he comes up empty. The 0-1 pitch misses, low count now, 1-1. Very strong wind whipping through the pits right now from left to right. We've already seen a couple balls kind of be affected by it. The 1-1, runner goes. This one's hit in the air. Wind knocking it down, but John Javier will come in and make the catch, and that will end the 5th inning. But the London Majors tack on 3 more. They've scored 6 in the last 2 innings, and it's 8-3 London over Toronto. Well, here's what's coming up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Kitchener Panthers will play here on Wednesday, and then a game against the Hamilton Cardinals and Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, part of a very hefty home schedule for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the month of July. And Zach, they'll be looking at those games with Kitchener, Chatham, Kent, and Hamilton and thinking maybe those are a little bit easier games than playing Welland and London back-to-back and try to climb back towards 500.
Yeah, and it's going to take, a full team effort. This team, again, they want to be better at home. It's been something that the players have noticed. It's been something that, management has noticed, or the home record isn't as good as it used to be in previous seasons. So, it all starts with one. Obviously, Leafs, they need to start cashing in some runs here, but those next 3 games, those would be big.
(9-1-2) for the Maple Leafs coming up here in the bottom of the 5th. Maple Leafs aren't really running out of outs yet, but they need 5 runs. So maybe Spencer Ross, like he did last game against the Welland Jackfish, can get on base and try and start a rally here for Toronto. The 0-1. And Ring misses high. Colby Ring wanted that, breaking the ball that missed over the outer half, but it's called a ball, and Spencer Ross is ahead in the count. Now he just misses high. 3-1 on Spencer Ross. He's in a hitter's count. Spencer Ross hitting .261 on the season for the Maple Leafs. He was 1 for 1 against the Welland Jackfish, but had 2 walks. That was last game. Now he fouls off the 3-1 pitch as it goes back onto the hill.
And again, we talked numerous times about Spencer Ross in the last game of just how good he was at getting on base for the guys at the top of the order. Well, he's put himself in another good count here, 3-2. He's got to keep battling here for guys like Dos Santos and Javier, who are patiently waiting behind him.
The full count pitch from Ring. Ross takes strike 3 called right on the inside corner, and there's 1 away. Some action in the bullpen now for the London Majors. Jose Arias is warming up. What a great job that Colby Ring has done, though, in the middle innings of this ball game.
Yeah, and I mean, considering how the game started and what the Maple Leafs were able to do off of Springer, Ring coming in and doing what he's done has been vitally important for London.
Ryan Dos Santos is the batter now, hitting here with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Dos Santos hasn't registered an official at-bat yet today because he's walked twice. This keeps happening to Ryan Dos Santos, where he gets ahead in the count. Pitchers, they've missed badly with some pitches early on. It's happened so many times this season against Dos Santos. No, it's 2-0. Another pitch well outside.
And, in his first couple of years with the Maple Leafs, teams probably didn't really think that much of him, but now he has a couple seasons under his belt where he's put up big numbers, good performances, and just seems, pitchers for some reason just don't like to pitch to him.
Which it doesn't make any sense because he's so often in the leadoff spot. That's the one guy you definitely have to pitch to. He's done it again. Ryan Dos Santos heads down to first base. He's drawn his 3rd walk of the day.
Do we see another 11 in a row?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was an incredible streak that Ryan Dos Santos had last season. Walked in 11 straight plate appearances. That was part of the 39 walk season that he put together last year. That put his name in the IBL history books as one of the highest walk totals ever by anyone in a single season, and now he's on pace to break the all-time record, which sits at, I believe, 46. John Javier swinging first pitch, and he fouls it off.
And I have a feeling Dos Santos is going to want some redemption after the last time he was on base where Ring picked him off. You kind of see here, he's still getting that big lead, but this time he's not bouncing as he was before.
The 0-1. Check over on Dos Santos at first base. Just want to make a correction. Bill Bykowski has the most walks in a single season by any player in the Intercounty Baseball League. It's 44, not 46. So Ryan Dos Santos is 9 walks away from that, and we still got half the season. The 0-1 pitch lined into the outfield by John Javier, and there's 2 aboard here for the Maple Leafs in the 5th.
And Javier just continues to hit the ball hard. He's hit it hard all 3 times today, but he's been rewarded twice, 2 for 3.
So John Javier just keeps on swinging it for the Maple Leafs. And now here's Jordan Castaldo. Has also walked in his first 2 plate appearances. He's been extremely disciplined today. He's taken on some close pitches. He's really made the pitcher come to him, and in fact, he's not going to get to see Colby Ring. It would have been a left-on-left matchup. Looks like Jose Arias is coming into the game for London.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Jordan Castaldo leading things off. He's going to get a righty in Jose Arias for the London Majors, a pitcher that the Toronto Maple Leafs have some history with, facing him back in 2022 in the Intercounty Baseball League Finals. He was fantastic in that entire playoff run for the London Majors. This season, pitching to an ERA of 4.67. He started 7 of the 9 games that he's played, so this will just be his 3rd relief appearance of the season. A lot of innings for Jose Arias this year. He's pitched 42 1/3. But the big number that's just not been there, like it has been in the past, the strikeouts. 28 strikeouts and 42 1/3 innings pitched. Well down from what it was last season. The 0-1 hit on the ground to first, foul ball.
Jordan Castaldo up to bat here, and still, like Dos Santos, he hasn't registered a plate appearance, walked both times. But man, when you watch Jordan Castaldo and his at bats that he's taking here today, it looks like he's on the cusp of just getting that base hit stroke back and starting to knock in some RBIs. He's had multiple chances, but today he's just been seeing the ball very, very well.
Arias is 1-1. Castaldo fouls it off. Jose Arias, in 3 seasons with the London Majors, has pitched 247 innings. He's been a workhorse each year he's pitched for London. The 1-2 to Castaldo. And he takes outside. 2-2 the count now. Two runners on here for the Maple Leafs. Jordan Castaldo chasing history. Castaldo hits it into the outfield. That's down for a base hit. Ryan Dos Santos gets the stop sign at third base. The throw home, well, when it was all said and done, it actually ended up being on line. And the bases are loaded here for the Leafs.
And there you go. Jordan Castaldo gets the pitch he likes, and he rips a hard hit single into right field, and that's just a sign of good things to come for the next couple of games.
Yeah, 3 good at-bats today for Castaldo. Yeah. He's walked twice, and now he's 1 for 1 with that base hit. Chad Picton's had a good day at the plate as well. Drove in a run in his first at-bat. This will be his 3rd chance at the dish. He's 1 for 2. Picton takes a strike. It's the 2nd time that Chad Picton is coming up with the bases loaded here for the Leafs.
Last time he did it, RBI single. In moments like this, he's batting 1,000.
The 0-1 pitch is inside, and the count's now 1-1. Chad Picton will be followed by Justin Mara. Picton hits this one in the air. It's flared out there into the outfield, and it's actually the second baseman, Amaral, who comes in and makes the catch. Arias cuts the throw home. Pretty good play there all around by the London Majors infield to catch that ball and make sure Ryan Dos Santos didn't come home from third base, because any kind of a little bobble and Dos Santos can capitalize and come home. Well, it probably goes without saying, but I guess we'll mention it anyway. The Maple Leafs could use a big hit from Justin Mara here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a power hitter at the plate in Mara, and getting to face a righty for his first time today. He swings at the first pitch. This is in foul territory down the left field line and ends up just out of play.
Off the merchandise tent over there down the left field line.
Might have scared a Toronto Maple Leaf fan trying to purchase some Maple Leafs baseball cards down the left field line. We had some fun with that on the broadcast yesterday. Got ourselves a complete team set. The 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Sneaky good pick there by Eduardo D'Olio to stop that ball from going to the backstop. Now the 1-1. Mara takes low. Count 2-1.
And how you know Justin Mara's in a good spot is really with, first off, it's if anything's inside over the plate, that's when he crushes the ball. But also just when he's patient, not chasing, you know he's seen the ball very well.
The 2-1. Mara hits one on the ground. This one's to second base. Amaral gobbles it up, throws to first. And the London Majors and Jose Arias get out of a jam in the bottom of the 5th. Man, the Maple Leafs really needed some runs, but once again, not able to cash in. Just a big hit away. We head to the 6th inning. It's 8-3 London. Oh, Zach, the Toronto Maple Leafs needed a big hit there in the bottom of the 5th inning. Just couldn't quite get it. Bases loaded, 1 out. Now the London Majors come up, still up by 5. And a bunt drop down towards third base, but it's going to roll foul as Chad Picton lets it go. This is Francisco Fajardo leading things off. Now he's behind 0-1 after the bunt.
He had a 2 RBI double his last time up, back in that 3-run 4th inning.
Yeah, gave him his 11th RBI in the season for London. The 0-1 from Franklin. Hit on the, lined past the third baseman Picton. That one rolls down the line. Ryan Dos Santos has to pick it up all the way in the corner, and as he does, Fajardo is already at second base.
Just another good at-bat by Francisco Fajardo.
Yeah, that ball was ripped the other way. Inside the chalk line by a couple of feet. That brings up Eduardo De Olio, the RBI guy on the London Majors, with a runner in scoring position.
Looks like we do have a pinch runner here. Unless it was just getting the running gear on.
This one's popped up to the second baseman, Dan Mara. He makes the catch, 1 away.
Yeah, no pinch runner on the play. It was just Fajardo getting his oven mitt on. He went back to the first base coach and thought there was a pinch runner coming out, but there was not.
Tucker Zadunik comes to the plate now. Hails out of High River, Alberta. 66 at-bats now in the season for the London Majors, and it's going pretty well. He's hitting .348. Take strike 1 from Hernandez. Franklin Hernandez is a tough out. Gave up a run in the first inning, but it was not earned. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, you know, they're looking at Franklin Hernandez out there. He's one of their go-to guys. They need to get some runs here for him and see if they can't take a shot at trying to win this ball game, because Hernandez is one of those arms that, you know, if he throws a lot of pitches today, he might not be available on Wednesday for them. This one's hit on the ground to the shortstop. Spencer Ross throws to first, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, you said it right there. If he goes a lot of pitches here, most likely won't be available on Wednesday. And that's a tough one because, again, how good of an arm he is.
Yeah, another good arm down in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs right now. Dustin Richardson is starting to get loose. Now it's Byron Reichstein, who's happy to not be facing a lefty now. He did get a hit against Adam Jeffine, but it was a bloop single to center and struck out a couple times.
Yeah, 1 for 3 on the day, struck out both the first 2 plate appearances against Jeffine. And like you said, he was just happy to get something in his last plate appearance.
You know, 1 pitch is in the dirt. Back in the day, the London Majors would always throw out their best lefty pitcher against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That hasn't been the case in recent years, and Maple Leafs would always, Byron Reichstein would always be that guy that they would match someone up against with him. Ross, another play at short, and he makes it, and that'll end the inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Franklin Hernandez shuts it down. Now can the offense get something going here for Toronto? Dennis DeBanning trying to get something kick-started here for the Maple Leafs against Jose Arias in the 6th inning. And the first pitch is low, ball 1.
DeBanning enjoying a nice 2-for-2 day here. 2 singles and an RBI scored.
3 consecutive games where he has a pair of hits. Now he hits one sharply on the ground to short. That might go down as an error, but Dennis DeBanning will be okay with that because he's on first base.
Yeah, just keep hitting the ball hard and you get rewarded for it, and that's the key right there. Curious to see what they score that.
They scored it an E6 on the shortstop Fajardo. I would agree with that, but I would also recognize the hard contact by Dennis DeBanning. Now here's Aiden McCaskey. And he chops the first pitch foul.
Almost a great play by first base coach, Rando Moreno.
Yeah, who's recovering from an injury right now, so you never want to see him go run into the fence. He's okay, though.
He has really embraced that role of first base.
I know you didn't see it on camera. I'm totally exaggerating it. He slowed down before he got to the
steps.
fence. Yeah. As McCaskey fouls another one off. Oh, 2 on Aiden McCaskey. Jose Arias trying to start this nip this good start to the inning in the bud right here, and he will. Strike 3 called at the knees, and Aiden McCaskey goes down looking. Dan Mara steps to the plate now for the Maple Leafs. DeBanning at first. Mara takes strike 1.
Be a big moment here if you can get this to the top of the order with multiple runners on base. You have Mara, then Spencer Ross. Ryan Dos Santos waiting in the wings.
The 0-1 pitch in there for a strike. Dan Mara got voted into the All-Star game recently for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I did an interview with him, and he kind of said, tongue-in-cheek with a sly smile on his face, don't think many people were expecting that one in his 14th year in the Intercounty Baseball League. The 0-2 pitch outside. But the only reason that he said that is because Dan Mara has this notion in his head that he's getting old, but he's really not. He's just in his mid-30s. Like there's lots of players in the Intercounty Baseball League that are way older than that, and he's still swinging it with as good a production as anybody in the IBL as well. The 1-2. This one's lined into the outfield. Case in point right there. 2 on now for the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, you said it. He's swinging a really hot bat and does it there again. It's such a simple swing where you get it the bat through the plane of the plate for so long, and you're able just to make contact. Doesn't have to be a rocket every single time. It could be a hit just like that, where it's a looper over shortstop, drops into the hole. It's a base hit, and that's just a fantastic job done by Dan Mara.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan the other day. We were talking about just kind of his approach at the plate, and he said, one of the biggest strong suits that he had in the Intercounty Baseball League and in college and all that is just he just doesn't overthink it at the plate. Keeps things simple all the time. Spencer Ross, the shortstop, fouls this pitch off.
It's been a tough day at the plate so far for Spencer Ross, down 0-2 with 2 strikeouts. But how big of an at-bat would it be here if he's able to just kind of move the chain? Don't look to do anything too big right here. Just move the chain to the top of the order.
The 0-1 pitch from Arias. In the dirt. Jose Arias has still been really effective this season for the London Majors, but I mean, if you look back to his first season back in 2022, he struck out 132 batters in less than 100 innings pitched. The 1-1 to Ross. This ball's fouled off. this season. He's only averaging about half a strikeout an inning. Season before that, you know, he's closing in on 2 strikeouts an inning. That's how good he's been.
Anytime you're able to strike out 132 in under 100 innings pitched, it's a pretty impressive number.
Yeah, listen to this. First season, 132 strikeouts, 33 walks. Pretty good ratio.
That's not bad.
Gave up 69 hits as well in 97 2/3 innings pitched. He was so dominant. That added up to an ERA of 1.56 to lead the IBL. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, skips towards the Maple Leafs dugout. Both runners advance. That's big. It takes the double play out of order and puts 2 in scoring position for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and the Maple Leafs will take that every day of the week, especially today when, you know, they've hit into 3 double plays, and it's been 3 double plays that have been kind of rally killers for the Leafs. They get either the leadoff man on double play, or they had that big rally in the first inning, and then in the inning double play.
A 2-2. Ross flares one towards the outfield. This one's hooking down the line, but it's playable. And the runner at third base will hold. The throw was well over the head of Eduardo D'Olio, but Jose Arias right there to back him up.
Yeah, it's tough to do anything with that if you're the runner on third, because it's a shallow fly ball, and you know the outfielder has all the momentum running forward.
It's been a couple of times where actually, yeah, a couple times this game where there's been an opportunity to send a runner at third base. It was admittedly a pretty low percentage opportunity. That would have been one of them right there, but both times the throw from the outfield has been offline, and in hindsight, Maple Leafs probably could have scored. Ryan Dos Santos will be tasked with trying to get a base hit into the outfield and drive in a pair.
Still hasn't registered that at bat today.
Takes strike 1 though. That's different than his last 2 at bats. Here's the 0-1. Now he takes a ball. Three walks for Dos Santos, and he's scored once. Dos Santos hits a high chopper to second base. Amaral has it, flips to first, and the London Majors escape danger once again against the Toronto Maple Leafs, this time at the top of the 6th, and continue to lead by 5 here in Toronto. Franklin Hernandez still on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs here in the top of the 7th inning. Maple Leafs have had some chances to score each of the last few innings, but just couldn't get that big hit with 2 outs to try and drive in some runs. Josh Niles hits this one on the ground to third. It skips into the outfield. It's a base hit for Niles. And that's how the London Majors lead off the top of the 7th. It's going to bring Champ Garner to the dish now with Niles on first base. Good day at the plate now for Niles. He's 2 for 4. So that pitch in the dirt, and Niles will advance 90 feet.
Yeah, Niles was already going on the pitch, and he's got a great jump there.
Yeah, I think he had that stolen regardless of whether pitch was in the dirt or not. Now this one's tapped back to the mound. Throw to third, not in time. The Maple Leafs don't get an out, and there's runners on the corners here in the top of the 7th with nobody out for the Majors.
And granted, that's not a bad play to go with for Hernandez. You try to get that lead runner, but you know the tag, you got to make sure it's an A+ throw. If you get it and you have to spin and fire a fastball over to third base, you can't hesitate for a split second.
Yeah, it's a tough call with nobody out. You'd really like to cut down that runner at third, but you know, if you get the out at first, think about the strikeout stuff that Franklin Hernandez has. Maybe he could try and lean on that and get out of the inning. Now this one's hit on the ground up the middle. This will cash in a run, but it's a tailor-made double play ball. It's 9-3 London Majors, but now there's 2 outs here in the 7th.
And Franklin Hernandez, he's pitching fairly well. He's only given up really 3 hits.
Yeah, that run that came in to score will be the first earned run charged to Hernandez on his line today. Amaral takes high and in. Dre Amaral 2 for 3 with a couple walks. The 1-0 pitch misses low, 2-0. That one finds the zone 2-1. Between Adam Jeffine and Franklin Hernandez, Toronto Maple Leafs pitching has only walked 1 London Major today.
And that was the leadoff man.
Right. Yeah.
First inning.
A lot of strikes being thrown, but these London Major hitters have been up to the task. Now the 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? No check, no swing. Count runs full. Franklin Hernandez's 3-2 pitch, and it's in the dirt, but it gets away from Mara, and it rolls all the way to the Maple Leafs dugout. To make matters worse, Dre Amaral falls down on his way to first base, but he still makes it in safely because that ball kicked away so far. That was a sequence of events.
That was a definite sequence of events. Don't really know how else you could put it.
If that ball had rolled to the backstop with Amaral falling down on his way to first, he probably would have been out, but it unfortunately kicked all the way to the Leafs dugout. Here's the 0-1. Toby Simmons takes a pitch. So Franklin Hernandez has got a double play in the inning and struck out a batter. He's going to need to try and get another out. The 0-2. High chopper. This one's to first, and it's Castaldo who has it, and he puts the tag on Simmons on the way by, who was running outside the baseline, but Castaldo followed him there and put the tag on to make sure there was no doubt. 9-3 London Majors as we head to the bottom of the 7th here in Toronto. Well, the Maple Leafs need quite a few runs here against the London Majors, facing a tough pitcher in Jose Arias. But if there's anyone that's going to give the Maple Leafs a spark, you'd have to think it's John Javier, and he's leading things off for Toronto. First pitch from Arias. Way inside, Javier ducks out of the way. I don't know if you saw the whole plate umpire there. Javier might have kicked like one grain of dirt onto home plate, so the umpire went and cleared it off. I don't know if I've ever seen the umpire clear the plate with one pitch into the inning. All right, whatever. It's not that interesting. 2-0 on John Javier, a hitter's count for a good hitter.
Hey, he's just a guy doing his job.
Yeah. Someone's got to do it. 2-0 finds the zone. If it's a called strike that Javier didn't swing at, he probably thought it wasn't a strike, and that appeared to be the reaction from John. Two and one now. Javier, a huge swing, and he fouls it off.
I would like to know how much power Javier puts in every single swing, or if that's just, you know, like his soft swing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to measure it a few times just with how far the ball has gone off his bat a couple times. The 2-2. Javier takes in the dirt. And he's hit some home runs, too, that, you know, haven't been long, high home runs. They've just been line drives that leave the yard here in Toronto. John has 5 home runs on the season. He's driven in 22 runs. A lot of the time he's knocking in Ryan Dos Santos, who got on base in front of him. This time he's leading off the inning, and he swings and misses, and Arias gets a punch out to start the 7th.
And it's just been a really good job from the London Majors relievers coming in today. completely shutting the door down on this Maple Leafs offense.
Lots of good stuff happening when Jordan Castaldo's at the plate today. It's had a very Jordan Castaldo-like day. If you watch Jordan Castaldo play in the Intercounty Baseball League, 2 walks and a hit. When Ryan Dos Santos made his way into the top 5 all-time single-season walk total records last season, he moved into a category which Jordan Castaldo has put his name on twice. After Bill Bykowski, it's Jordan Castaldo 2 and 3 in the most walks in a single season.
He also broke a consecutive streak that Castaldo had of leading the league.
Yeah. Jordan will be okay with that. And, you know, I've talked to Ryan, too. I was like, you know, do you talk to Jordan Castaldo kind of about his approach at the plate? He said, oh, yeah. He's someone who he likes to chat with. Here's the 0-2. Castaldo takes low. Jordan Castaldo looks at every at-bat as a battle between the pitcher and the hitter. And if he gets on base, it means he's won the battle. That's the MO for Jordan Castaldo when he comes to the plate. So that pitch from Marius just misses, and the count's 2-2. Jose Arias takes a pause on the mound here, just kind of regrouping. He disagreed with the call, thought that should have been strike 3 on Castaldo. Here's the 2-2, way inside. A lovely bit of shade just came over Christy Pitts right when Arias was delivering that pitch.
There's a massive cloud, and that cloud is playing MVP to everybody outside today.
Yep, perfect. Maybe those clouds from Chatham-Kent are coming our way. Here's the 3-2. Castaldo takes ball 4. Jordan Castaldo has walked for a 3rd time today. So here comes Chad Picton to the dish. The cleanup hitter today for the Toronto Maple Leafs is now the 3rd baseman for the team as well. Castaldo at first. Arias' first pitch to Picton. Just looking at the stats from the Maple Leafs have got a cage set up down the right field line to measure who had the fastest throw today. That's the 1-0 from Picton.
Second time they've done it this season.
Yeah, second time they've done it. The fastest throw today was 81 miles an hour, which means that if you went down and thrown today, you would have won.
I would have won. I lost last time by 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, the fastest was 85. Zach threw 84. As Picton foul tips this one at home plate.
But the best part of the whole thing was your reaction saying you threw 84 without warming up.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was going to say. That was crazy. You're going to hurt yourself.
Nah, we're fine.
Yeah, so Zach says, yeah, well, I did some stretches. Threw 84 on stretches. The 1-2, strike 3 called on the outside corner. Arias gets out number 2 here in the 7th. Justin Mara 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. Castaldo on first. And Mara lines it back up the middle, and he's 1 for 4, and there's 2 on here for the Leafs.
Good piece of hitting by Justin Mara. Goes up there attacking early on and just stays with the ball. Goes the opposite way towards left center field.
Well, if you look back a couple games ago, Dennis DeBanning was the guy who provided the spark for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the game. They beat the Kitchener Panthers, had a home run that ended up winning the Maple Leafs the game. And, well, that's not possible here with the score the way it is. If the Maple Leafs could get a swing like that from Dennis DeBanning, certainly would be a jolt of energy into this team with just 7 outs to play with. DeBanning, big swing at the first pitch, but he fouls it off. Long look in here from Arias, and now the 0-1. DeBanning crushes this one down the line, foul. Lots of distance, but well foul.
Partner, I'm just looking over at the Maple Leafs bullpen, and I've seen a lot of different ways to stretch and, practice throwing. I've never seen anybody use a baseball bat. Yami Sato currently working on some mechanical stuff with the baseball bat.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times before. Sometimes Sato hits ground balls a lot for the team as well. I was surprised she wasn't then hitting ground balls to all the infielders today before the game. DeBanning takes just outside, good take. But that, I'm not exactly sure what the throwing routine is for Ayami Sato, but she is a pitcher that's very mechanically sound, likes the routine. Yeah, I've seen that before. That's part of the warm-up routine, so maybe she's getting ready to come into the game. The 1-2. DeBanning crushes this one. Left field, high, deep, and gone! Dennis DeBanning, a 3-run home run. And the Toronto Maple Leafs brought it within 3.
And we've said it time and time again about how hot Dennis DeBanning has been. And just like that, it's a 3-run shot. And this time pulled to the left field side. And that just shows you he is in a really, really good spot right now with his bat.
The way he hit that ball, certainly reminiscent of the one that he hit in Kitchener. Dennis DeBanning loves to hit the ball the other way, but when he's been hitting home runs lately, he's actually been pulling the ball out of the ballpark. So I think it's fair to say he can spray the ball all over the field. That time he crushed that baseball and got it over the fence to left.
Yeah, he has been playing really, really good brand of baseball lately, and he has definitely put his name inside the hat to continue to be in the starting lineup.
McCaskey chops one to first, but it's foul. But, I mean, if you look at what Dennis DeBanning is doing and say, well, he's kind of filling in for Marcus Connect, over the last couple games, this is what Marcus Connect was doing at the beginning of the season, coming up with big hits, coming up with a lot of multi-hit games. As McCaskey takes outside.
DeBanning has reached base 4 times today. You can argue that he went 4 for 4, but because of they marked down his hit to the shortstop as an error, it'll go down as a 3 for 4 day.
Right, yeah. A well-hit ball, though, as well. Aiden McCaskey is 1 for 3 today. He has an RBI as well. And he hits one on the ground to third, and that one eats up the third baseman, Josh Niles. It was a yard sale out there at third base with Niles doing his very best to try and knock that ball down. And, if you talk to the Toronto Maple Leafs infielders, they will sympathize with what just happened to Niles there. There have been some tricky hops over there towards the third base side.
And, yeah, that one is just the classic Christie hop. Classic.
Josh Niles did actually take quite a tumble there. He was trying to elevate his left shoulder to knock down the baseball, and in doing so just kind of sacrificed all stability and kind of hit and rolled onto the grass. Oh, he's got a smile on his face, though, so that probably means he's okay.
Yeah, he took quite a big tumble there.
Yeah, he was charging that ball so hard. Like, He was locked in on the baseball and had no regard for how his body was going to hit the dirt after he tried to make that play, putting it on the line for the team, but unfortunately the runner will reach base, and here comes Dan Mara. So that's Aiden McCaskey over there at first. Just in case there's any doubt in your mind, Aiden McCaskey was given a base hit on that play. The 0-1 to Dan Mara. Mara hits this one on the ground to third. This time Niles has it. Throws over to second base the short way to end the inning. But a big swing from one of the hot hitters in the Maple Leafs lineup. A 3-run home run by Dennis DeBanning. And now it's 9-6 London Majors. New pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs is Eugene Lee, who's put together a string of good outings for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now he's going to get some work in a much higher leverage situation. First pitch is bunted down the third baseline. Picton lets it roll foul. Zach, I think it's fair to say that Eugene Lee has earned himself a much higher leverage situation in this spot after having a couple good outings in his last two.
Yeah, and the outing he had last time out, really good against the Welland Jackfish. Just came in through strikes.
Struck out 3.
Yeah.
Pitch called a strike on Fajardo, and it's 0-2. Lee's allowed just one hit in his last 2 appearances, both an inning apiece. This one's popped up shallow on the infield. Ross backpedaling and making the catch for out number 1. Not an easy spot for Eugene Lee to come into, facing 2, 3, 4, but he's got the first out and now faces test number 2 and maybe a little bit more difficult one in Eduardo D'Olio. D'Olio takes in the dirt.
And you know Eugene Lee is pitching well when that breaking ball is just it's snapping really nicely. Again, he displayed that against the Welland Jackfish.
The 1-0 pitch, good one from Eugene Lee as DeOlio swings over the top of it. Skylar Janice is getting warm in the bullpen now for the London Majors. He came into the game last night in Guelph. DeOlio chops it foul.
And you know what's interesting, partner? He
Yep.
has a chance to face Jordan Castaldo.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, Castaldo was at the plate. He took a pitch, and Janice said something to him from the dugout. Castaldo looked right back at him and said something back to him. The 1-2. DeOlio takes in the dirt. Eduardo DeOlio hits this one pretty well. Left field, and it is gone. Eduardo DeOlio leaves the yard, gives the London Majors some insurance, and now he's got 7 home runs on the season.
Well, we talked about every player in this lineup having a hit, and it was a matter of time before Eduardo DeOlio got and joined the party. What a booming blast.
Yeah, Eduardo DeOlio was coming into this at bat. He was 0 for his last 10. And then broke out of that mini slump in a hurry. Ball cleared the yard in one of the deeper parts of the ballpark. Tucker Zadunik at the plate now. Zadunik takes in the dirt, ball 1. Zadunik 2 for 4 today, and he's driven in a run. Zadunik taps it foul towards the Major dugout. Byron Reichstein is on deck. He'll get an at-bat this inning. Eugene Lee about to throw pitch number 11 of this top of the 8th. And it's lined a 2-hopper into the outfield. That's a base hit for Zadunik.
And that's loud contact.
That'll bring Byron Reichstein to the dish. He's got a runner on base. 10-6 London Majors. They've got 10 runs on 14 hits today. Maple Leafs have got some hits too. They've got 11, but they've just been able to cash in 6 times. First 3 came in the first inning, and then the next 3, 6 innings later in the 7th when Dennis DeBanning hit a home run. Pitch up and in from Eugene Lee, but Byron Reichstein swung through it. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss by Reichstein. Couple good pitches to start the at-bat from Lee. Skylar Janice is not throwing in the bullpen anymore for the London Majors. I'm not sure if he's either ready to go or maybe that home run by DeOlio changed the situation.
He did sit down right after DeOlio hit that home run.
The 0-1 pitch fouled straight back, hit the pole on the fencing and ricocheted around behind the plate. Another 0-2 from Eugene Lee. And Reichstein pops it straight up, but this one's gonna not stay in play. Chad Picton makes the catch. The wind was pushing that back in play. Did you see that? It was just staying right along the fence line, and Chad Picton stays with it, and that's out number 2.
I won't lie, I really thought that was gonna land behind the bleachers, but like you said, the wind just really kept that ball in play.
Yeah, it was behind the Maple Leafs dugout to the left. The wind is blowing from left to right, and that certainly helped Eugene Lee and the Maple Leafs. Josh Niles, the third baseman, comes to the plate now. Takes strike one. Niles hitting .260 on the season with a 2-for-4 day. The 0-1 pitch is up and away, and the count's 1-1. Niles has also driven in 2 today for his side. Eugene Lee trying to work out of the top of the 8th inning with minimal damage. Just the home run so far by Eduardo de Olio. The 2-1 to Niles. Runner goes. Niles fouls it off.
Looks like Luis Florentino is warming up over there for the Maple Leafs.
They'll at least have a couple days off. Their next game is on Wednesday against the Kitchener Panthers. So, presumably, if Luis Florentino were to throw an inning today, that would kind of be like a bullpen before maybe he would start a game on Wednesday against Kitchener. The 2-2. On the ground to third. Picton picks it up, throws to first in time. Good play by Chad Picton at third on the short hop. London Majors score 1, and Eduardo de Olio's solo home run has made it 10-6. Well, Skylar Janice has been the closer for the London Majors. That was his role last night, but tonight, duty calls here in the bottom of the 8th inning because it's 9-1-2 coming up for the Maple Leafs, and Spencer Ross drops a bunt down the third baseline trying to get on base to start the inning against Janice. You like this move here by Roop Chanderdak, going to Janice with the toughest part of the order coming up?
Well, I mean, why not? Yes, it's a 4-run lead, but why not try to secure yourself the win? You go to a guy who's been very, very good for you all season long and last season as well.
Skylar Janice has an ERA of an even 3.00 in 21 innings pitched this season. The big number is 7 saves on the year, which leads the Intercounty Baseball League. 7 saves, 16 wins for London. Skylar Janice has been at the back end of a lot of those. The 0-1 to Spencer Ross after he bunted on the first pitch, and he takes low. Here's the 1-1. Ross fouls it off. Skylar Janice also has 5 wins on the season, which you don't see very often when a guy is leading the league in 2 departments, and it's wins and saves.
Yeah. He's just consistently just been a really good pitcher.
When London wins, Janice pitches. That one's in the dirt, and the count's 2-2 on Ross. So I think a big reason why Janice is available today is that he needed only 8 pitches to lock down the win last night against Guelph. 2-2 in the dirt and goes to the backstop. Three and 2 on Spencer Ross. Skylar Janice has almost thrown as many pitches in this at bat that he did all night last night. And Ross takes in the dirt, ball 4. How about that? Spencer Ross does it again, gets on base out of the 9-hole.
You know, he's had a couple of bats today where it just hasn't gone his way, 0 for 3, but that's a big one there. You get on base late in this ball game, you turn over to the top of the order, who have been red hot so far. You know, there's always things on players that distinguish that player for you. Dos Santos is the bright pink batting gloves. Skylar Janice, it's those bright yellow shoes. The cleats are shining yellow.
Yeah, that's a good one. This is a stylish mashup we have here at the dish. You know, one way you could look at this
starting to wear it. It's Jean Javier in the Dominican Republic arm sleeve.
Yeah, that's nice too. London Majors have 4 days off before their next game. It's going to be at Bernie Arbor against the Hamilton Cardinals. That's on Thursday. That pitch goes to the backstop again, and Spencer Ross gets to second base. Dos Santos skies this ball in the air to center. Champ Garner makes the catch. Or Toby Simmons, I should say, makes the catch. Champ Garner is out and right. 1 away in the inning. Skylar Janice has already pitched on back-to-back days. This will be his 3rd time this season accomplishing that. The London Majors have no problem going to Janice again. Lots of work, but 4 days off before they might need him next. John Javier swings at the first pitch and misses.
I'm just very intrigued to see what happens after this at-bat against Javier.
Yeah, that's because Jordan Castaldo is coming to the dish. He'll probably have a runner in scoring position as well. John Javier lines this ball to center field. Back goes Simmons on the run, makes the catch. Spencer Ross tags, and he'll move up to third base. Ball crushed by John Javier, but the speed of Toby Simmons out there in center able to track it down.
Yeah, and classic, as Javier hits it, the wind dies down. You can see on those flags out in center field.
This is the matchup we've been waiting for. Skylar Janice and Jordan Castaldo. Now that elusive RBI, 90 feet away for Jordan. But he'll need a base hit to knock it in. Spencer Ross led off the inning with a walk. He's since worked his way around the base path to third, but now there's 2 outs in the inning. Castaldo fouls it off. Chad Picton is on deck if Jordan Castaldo can get on. Here's the 1-1 from Janice. Castaldo takes a strike on the inner half. Jordan Castaldo has walked 3 times, and in his only official at bat, he's got a hit. Laced one through the right side between first and second. The 1-2. Castaldo hits this one in the air, deep to left field. Going back is Zadunik, and he's there to make the catch. Right in front of the wall out there in left field. A big swing from Jordan Castaldo, but just not quite enough to sneak it over the wall. It's still a 4-run lead for London. Well, Luis Florentino into the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I talked to Justin Mara about Luis Florentino and what he brings on the mound. He said he's got a bit of a Dustin Richardson effect. He's got a heavy fastball. If he has to, he's got a pretty good off-speed pitch too. I like that from Justin Mara, that if he has to, because that fastball is so good that the secondary pitches are just kind of complimentary.
Yeah, and man, what a job he has done since joining the Maple Leafs. I mean, there was a lot of hype and a lot of excitement around him, and I mean, he's owned up to it.
We'll see if he can put that heavy fastball to work here against the London Majors. Champ Gardner is going to lead things off, and then Brad Verhoeven and Dre Amaral. 7, 8, 9. Now that fastball's got some zip on it, but missed on the first 2 pitches to Gardner. The 2-0 swung on and missed as he blew that one by Champ Gardner.
Champ Gardner has reached base 3 times today, but he's 1 for 4.
Pitch up and in. Champ Gardner was a bit of a college baseball legend, if you will. Played 5 seasons in college baseball, which is just right there, that's something that not a lot of players can say they did. In total, 484 games playing college baseball for Champ Garner. That pitch inside, and he draws a walk. Brad Verhoeven, who's hitting out of the 8th spot today. Batting .338 on the season. He's 1 for 3. Well, when Luis Florentino is throwing that fastball in the zone, hasn't looked very hittable. Does that make the game plan just throw the fastball, let it eat, and see what happens?
Yeah, just keep pumping the zone with the fastball.
The 0-1 swung on a miss. Justin Mara's throw down to second base. Got him! Great throw from Justin Mara as he cuts down the running game.
I mean, that's just another great throw, but this time he actually got up to his feet to throw that ball. It wasn't just a typical bullet from the knees.
Yes, because he had so much time. There wasn't a very good jump over there at first base. I mean, the throw for Justin Mara, that wasn't even a perfect throw. It was kind of high. But tag slapped down there by Spencer Ross, and that's an out recorded for the Maple Leafs. I mean, maybe the jump was okay from Champ Garner. He didn't get to second base very quickly, but Luis Florentino also featured a lot of velo out there, and he uses the off-speed pitch that time. Brad Verhoeven goes down. So this is what Justin Mara said about controlling the running game. He said, it was always something in my playing career that I took a lot of pride in. I tried to throw the first one really well to shut down the running game early. So obviously it's pretty late in this game. But the MO for Justin Mara is not like, I hope people run on me so I can throw them out. It's, let me prove that I can throw the ball really well, and then no one runs at all. And that takes a lot of stress off your pitcher as well when guys aren't running around the base path. Oh, 0-1 here on Dre Amaral. This one's hit on the ground. Tamara, big high hop there at second base. And that'll go down as a good inning for Luis Florentino on the top of the 9th. Last chance coming up for the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs need 4 runs here in the 9th, and Skylar Janice pitching on back-to-back days is going to go for a second inning of work and see if he can't pick up the 6-out save. Chad Picton at the dish. Here's the 1-0. Picton swings and misses.
Picton recorded his first hit and RBI in his first at-bat, and then he's had hard contact but hasn't been able to get on base the next 3.
The 1-1 pitch, low. Picton hits one on the ground to third. Nice pick, good throw, 1 away.
Niles has had a good game over there at third so far. You know, we talked about the one play where it was the little squibbler that hit the lip of the grass and he had to make a diving shoulder save, and you know, that might have been marked down as an error. I can't really recall at the moment, but that's still a really good play as a third baseman.
Yeah.
You see that bounce and you just give it up completely just to block the ball and keep it on the infield. That saves 90 feet.
Yeah, he's been solid. Couple plays not made at third base, totally different ball game for the Maple Leafs. So here's Justin Mara, had a hit in his last at-bat. Went right back up the middle with a line drive single. Now takes a strike at the knees. Four home runs for Justin Mara on the season. All of them have come here at Christie Pitts. 2 to left, 2 to right. Maple Leafs down to their final 2 outs, and an 0-2 pitch here to Justin Mara. And he chops it on the ground. This one's to second base. Amaral picks it up, throws to first. That's out number 2.
It's been a busy day for Amaral at second base as well. That was his 7th ground ball that he's had.
Yeah, he's been solid. Both him and Josh Niles, too, have had to battle through a bit of a stinger today. Niles, we talked about when he went down hard on the infield. Amaral fouled the ball really hard off his foot, and he was actually lying on the ground for a bit. He was in quite a bit of pain, but in that at-bat, hit a double. He's got, 3 RBIs today, and made some good defensive plays as well. Dennis DeBanning has driven in 4 runs for the Maple Leafs. He's got 9 RBIs in his last 3 games. The 0-1 pitch finds the zone. 0-2, Leafs down to their last strike. The 0-2 from Janice. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the ball game. The London Majors win it 10-6 here in Toronto. Skylar Janice gets 6 outs to lock down the win for London.
Yeah, and the London Majors, they came in ready to battle it out here. Went down early, battled back. The pitching, I think the pitching is the big thing. The credit that goes to Ring, who just shut the door on this Maple Leafs team. It seemed like the Leafs had a really good game plan today, and Ring just shut that door coming out of the pen.
3 wins in a row now for the London Majors. The Toronto Maple Leafs have a little bit of time off. The next game is on Wednesday. For London, it's on Thursday. The final in this one, the London Majors get 10 runs on 14 hits and 1 error. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 6 runs, 11 hits and 1 error. And it's the Majors who come out victorious today. For myself, Thomas West, as well as Zach Benoit, thanks for tuning in. Have a good rest of your afternoon.